All right, welcome on. My name is Jason Cardamone. I'm sure almost every single one of you know that, although this video will be posted, the recording of it at least. And so we are here with 39 people live so far out of 75 that registered. I didn't have a lot of time to promote this, so we have a lot less live than I had initially planned, but I'm very excited for what we're going to be sharing tonight. And I'm just going to dive right into this very, very quickly with you and for all of us. So I'm 47 years old. I've been online for over 17 years now, or almost, it'll be 17 years next month. And I've created teams of more than 100,000 members. In fact, I thought of something really cool as I was designing this slide today, and you're not going to hear this from me, but you kind of are, but kind of not. So just be prepared. This is going to be one of the most possibly creepy or trippy parts of the webinar. It might also be one of the most deeply inspiring things you've ever seen. Some of you, this is not going to be very impressive, and some of you are like, I just showed my mom and my youngest son this, and the reactions were two wildly different reactions. So I have no idea what's going to happen in your nervous system when you observe this. So pay close attention. I am going to show you how to harness technology, especially AI, artificial intelligence, just as I've been doing for decades. I've been in tech for 41 years now in a major way. You could take a tour of my home and there's high tech in every which way you could imagine. And also some tech that's not there because it's a little freaky. So without further ado, let's get this party started. I will be one of your co-hosts. My name is Jamski. I am Jason's avatar, just like in Ready Player One. Jason is 47 and has been online for 17 years now. And after creating teams of more than 100,000 members over that time, tonight's material was inspired from Jason being tired of seeing people struggle, including himself. There are incredible things happening in AI and the world, but usually only available to those of us paying close attention. There is also an incredible, almost unbelievable debt bubble, and humanity will pay for it. All of us will. Jason is going in as prepared as possible, and he's taking an army of inspired souls with him. State of unconditional love. And on with the show. So I just had a reaction to that, really soaking in, particularly around the debt bubble part. Now, let me just stay with the slides. For those of you that, I launched a high ticket business. In fact, I launched one back in 2016, 17, and another one recently. Things are going great there. That's not something we're focused on today. But by the way, I'm going to break down that whole video you just saw, and you're going to be able to do most of that on your own. If we have time, you're going to be able to do the exact same thing. I didn't pay a single penny for it either. But I'm not talking about particularly about any high ticket programs today. We're going to be mostly focused on residual income and also introducing you to this idea of a U Inc. business, or U Incorporated, which was a coin termed back in 2008-ish from Mike Dillard. And so these are all, I'm going to introduce you to what's called a value ladder, and everything's fully explained in the coming slides. So if there's anything that doesn't make sense, those of you live, just ask questions right in the chat. Thank you for being so supportive so far. And I also have a very special offer at the end of this webinar. In fact, I have a couple. So let's crank. So this is going to be a pretty medium pace. If you're highly versed in marketing and tech, it might feel a little slow. It might feel a little fast if you're newer to marketing and tech, and that's okay. We have the recording. You can watch this as many times as your heart's content. Some people like to take massive notes their first time through so that they could, like, you could reteach all of these subjects here, tomorrow. Some people like to soak it all in, come back, take notes in a different way. if you don't know that stuff, you will learn that about yourself over time, and I'll help you hack what's best for the way you process the world. So what is a U-Ink business? I don't know what this bullet was supposed to be. It's not supposed to say, feel free to watch it on 1.5 speed. I know it's about protecting yourself, and I'll describe it all in the coming slides. These are the main 3 parts of the webinar here, where I'm also going to show you how to use AI to dominate online, even some actionable skills. Obviously, I can't pour hundreds of current hours and soon to be thousands of my AI mastery into you here on a little short webinar, but I will introduce some tools. One of my biggest intentions, this is one of the biggest things for the whole night, is that even if you hate everything I'm sharing, you think a U-Ink business is like insane. I don't see how someone could think that if you actually pay attention to the material, but let's pretend you have like a very deep belief system that you can only focus on one thing, only low ticket, high ticket, medium, whatever. That's totally cool. I will at least teach you some things that you very unlikely do not know yet about AI and how to use some of it really to your advantage. And even a lot of I'll break it down here in the webinar tonight. And I'm also going to show you a couple specific tools and programs that I'm using, and also some of these tools and programs that I'm introducing to my personally enrolled members, and really will be sharing all over the interwebs and every soul and every set of eyeballs I can possibly share this wisdom with. So, and again, a nice little bonus at the end. And so building a U-Ink business, and I got to protect my voice. It's really shaky here. And I'm nothing but excited, not shaky, scared. It is completely stressed from a lot of talking in the past couple of days. So bear with me. So I've had way too many ups and downs in my online business over the last 17 years, and so have many others. And the heart of it comes from giving too much control to an entity outside of ourselves, something that is not our own company or our own entity. And there's drawbacks and benefits to everything, including building a U-Ink business. So one thing, if you're new to my teachings, is that I'm not just going to give you here's all the amazing things about what I'm sharing with you. I'm also going to share with you some of the drawbacks and warn you about things so that you're less biased. So you actually see more of the whole picture instead of just one little biased perspective that I'm trying to cram down your throat without you knowing the bigger picture. So, and we can counteract some of the drawbacks by having programs that complement each other. Now, what I want to say right here, I just shared this on a Facebook Live earlier today. I just watched one of the biggest leaders in the history of the entire direct sales and network marketing industry, done far more income and sales than I ever have. I don't think they've created teams bigger than mine, but they may have. And they were just talking about how unless they are the owner of the company, they will never rely on just one company for their entire livelihood. And that's exactly what has hurt me and so many people over the years. I've seen some of the most solid programs in the network marketing. Let's take that industry. It's like 85, 90 years old. I've seen some of the most solid companies that everybody's like, man, that thing's going to be here for the rest of our lives and for everyone's lives. And they've been shut down by the FTC. I've seen other companies that didn't stand a freaking chance that are still alive today. I'm even going to show you one of those today, and it's mind blowing. So I don't care who you are. I'm talking to like the top earner in the world right now, all the way down to a person just learned what network marketing was in the last 10 seconds. Every single person on planet Earth that falls between all of those, that none of us know what's going to be here in 5 or 10 years, much less 30 and 50 years. A lot of us on here, we're still going to be alive here 50 plus years, some of us, maybe we have a few more decades, depending on how young you are already. And I meant to say that in a way of like, age is nothing but a number. Someone today I just learned is in their 60s, and it blew my freaking mind. I know them really well, and I would put them in their mid to late 40s, maybe young 50s, but they're like 62 or 3. And so age doesn't mean anything besides what you mean it to be. I'm not going to go down some side rabbit hole, but if you were to have heard Art Linkletter back like I did when he was 94 years old on a radio station, the guy sounded like he was more energetic than most 30 and 40-year-olds that I know. So I could care less about what any of our ages are. It doesn't mean anything besides what you choose it to mean. I have friends from teens all the way up through everything else. And so you're going to see a little spin on this. But let's hear what this dude or dudette or whatever this thing is has to say.
Hello, and welcome to this inspired webinar with Jason Cardamone. Now I know this doesn't look like me, but every one of these words was written by me. This was all generated within a few minutes, and of course includes my trademark blue and green colors. Silence your mobile phone, close down all other programs, and tell your loved ones you are unavailable for the next hour or so. As you pay close attention, you will learn how to leverage the power of AI so that you can create the business and life of your dreams, instead of you being used by AI and technology. And you will also learn the importance of a U-incorporated business. And now, in the spirit of Slim Shady, will the real Jason Cardamone please stand up? Thank you. You are in incredible hands with Jason. Hello, and welcome to this inspired webinar.
So obviously, I'm here to have some fun. Now, I learned decades ago from one of the best in the world, Mr. Tony Robbins, the value of edutainment. I learned it again through Marcus Said It. I learned it again through Dr. DeMartini, who relies a lot more on the education side, but he throws in all kinds of little jokes here and there, especially as you get deeper into your program. And so, and just to answer really quickly, that would it have left out that inflection off the end of my name if I left the E off? I tried that and it didn't say it the way that Americans say my name. But what's really cool, the way my name, I'm quarter Italian. How you say my name in Italy is exactly how they said it, which is super cool. And that means a lot to me. So I left it there. So anyway, there's a lot of, there's a Michael Oberhausen. You could get lost forever with all the little details I'm going to be throwing your direction, my friend. I know you well. So, and by the way, with that said, there are some of you who value learning more than taking action on what you're learning and monetizing it, turning it into something that will impact your life. And that's great. But with what's coming in the world, it is the equivalent of the Saint C blessing from 2020, the banking crash from 2007, 8, 9, and the real estate crash, which was tied to that, the mini banking crash we just had, and even all the way back to World Trade Center and so many other big events that have happened, let's just say the last 20 years or so. All of that will be compressed into a shorter number of years coming ahead. And there is a lot of impending problems. And I'm not going into the history of world economics or even our current economics, but if you were ever to take your life seriously and not just sit there, like, I freaking love learning. It's one of my top values, but I love teaching, inspiring even more. Both of those are more important to me than making money. But if I don't have tens of millions of dollars at my disposal immediately in the short term, the options for my loved ones and myself are drastically diminished. And any of us, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, month by month, and you can't go at least 3 to 5 years with zero income starting this very day, you already are far behind and you better get your butt moving. And it's because I care about you. I can't go deeper into that. I'm happy to refer you to all kinds of materials and you can learn all about things. But I hope to inspire you to take this deadly serious. And I love this. By the way, I just said this was my avatar. My name is Jamsky. I was kind of making a play off my crypto gaming name, but the reality was I just made all this crap up like the hour before the webinar. So, and it was far less than an hour to do both of those videos that you've watched now. So I'm going to show you some of that as well, most of it, in fact. So I want you to understand the 80-20 power curve from Perry Marshall. This is extracted from Pareto's principle or the 80-20 rule. And so if you look at from left to right, if the total, pretend like you have a total, looks like there would be about 300 people represented in the green here. Notice how the first, let's say about half of the people, if I were to kind of, now this isn't to scale, and I made up these numbers. So like, just realize this will hold any set of numbers. It doesn't matter what we throw the power curve on. But if we were to just look at this little chunk of people right here, this is half of the 300 people. And let's pretend like the top of this bar here represents the $100 you see here. What it means is of the first three, let's say you get 300 customers over the next month, year, whatever that would take you, okay? Pretend like you know how to use AI and you can attract people in and all this stuff. This is what I've been doing. It's how I created teams of 100,000 members. I'm even going to show you proof of some of that. So half of them, let's say, would pay $100, but that's it. So if all we did was focus on, a $100 program, we're going to get all 300 people still. But I want you to notice if the green is the amount of people buying different things, look at, and let's pretend like this is like 2% or 3 or 4% over here, the skinny bar, 3 or 4%, or let's just call it 3 or 4 people even. Just, I don't want to blow away your mind too much, but let's just pretend 3 or 4 people out of the 300 are willing to pay $10,000 and $12,000 for stuff. Now, I have recent numbers that the numbers are, they're higher than what I just shared. But the example is that you need to understand the concept that after those 3 and 4, there's probably only about, let's call it like 10 people. Actually, I'm drawing it the wrong way. That sucks. I can't show you the little drawing tool without like killing the screen. Let's pretend like this chunk of people, I know the graph says that's like 25 people. Yeah, let's just call it 25. So 25 people now, if you just saw where I was at there, 25 people went about right here, which is about 5-ish thousand, which means if you didn't have anything that was above $5,000, you're missing out on 25 people paying you $5,000 to $12,000. Do the math. Let's just call it 10,000 times 25 people. That's $250,000 you're missing out on. But yet most people only run with a $10 a month program, or they only run with a $10,000 high ticket program. And both of them are super naive and missing out on a lot. And I'll show you that in the next few slides. Does that all make sense? If this slide if it mostly made sense, what I'm sharing here, please type a 1 into the chat here. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I love it, Mike. Thank you all for it. The more, like, if you literally take the effort to put the 1 in, I'm counting them roughly. And I just saw about 2/3 of our entire audience or more type 1s. That's huge feedback. If just 5 of you would have typed that, I would know there's something wrong. So, but I want to keep on point. I want to fly through this for everyone. So, by the way, do you guys on live on Zoom, just somewhere does it say recording on your screen? Can you type a 2 in the chat? I want to make sure. I can't see the recording. Thank you guys so much. All right. I only need a couple of those and I know they see the record button. So here is the same thing you just saw, but it's framed in a different, it's a different view. So this is what typically a funnel looks like, where it's the widest at the top and it funnels your customers down as you get lower and lower. And so examples of this from the marketing world would be like you give stuff away even free up front. Then you have an introductory product. Maybe it's like 10 bucks a month or something. And you have a continuity program. Maybe that's like $27 or $47 a month kind of a thing. Specialty product. Maybe that's $300 to $500. Seminars, events. I mean, how much, type into the chat how much a typical seminar costs that, or an event that you've gone to. Even if it's with a network marketing company, they're almost never free events. What I've seen, in fact, I just want to see what people type in the chat. What is the average event cost? Not a high-end event, but what are some event costs that those of you have been? Carol says 2,000. Tara says 2,000 to 5,000. Michael says 300. Aaron says 2,500. You guys got, man, you're gonna freaking love me because there's a lot of events. So and Tony shares 199. Marinda says 200 to 300. So what I've seen for most events, now I've been to events that are $10,000 and $12,000, 4 or 5 of them in those ranges. Those are like for an event, not even just a program by itself, like for a single weekend or so event, sometimes a week long. I've also been to week-long events that were like in the $4,000 to $8,000 range, live or even on Zoom as well. And then most network marketing kind of things usually have a price point of like about 2 to 3, 2 to 500. It depends on what they're doing and what food they're covering and all that kind of stuff. So as you keep going, group coaching, maybe certain services, and then even personal one-on-one coaching. So at the bottom here, I know Perry Marshall, Dr. John DeMartini are both $3,000 per hour, or they were, maybe they're higher now, I'm not sure. I have been up in the ranges, and I'm currently between $500 and $1,000 per hour based on the niche and the product and the service and whatever we're doing, whatever we're coaching on. That's for personal coaching. I focus on group coaching. So nobody's going to need to pay $500 an hour, and I can make a bigger impact across a larger number of people. Plus, personal coaching just goes down to hourly pay, and I like leverage. So anyway, that's taken me a long time. When I started off as a life and business coach, certified in 2003 under one of the very best coaches in the history of all of coaching industry. And it's not anybody that any of you even know. And I met one person in all of Facebook that even knew who this person was. So who you think are the best are not necessarily the best. And I started off with, it was actually the coach of Thomas Leonard. Actually, I love that, Eric. Thomas did coach me a little bit. In fact, I still have an email from him back in the Coach U days directly from Thomas Leonard before he passed. That's freaking awesome, Eric. I didn't know you studied there, bro. I love that, man. So the last coach that Thomas ever hired before he passed, that was the coach that I stuck with for about 2 years and I did everything with him. So, but I started off one-on-one coaching, and how that ties into all this stuff is so you understand I value leverage and one-to-many much, 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 much more than one-on-one. Although I've had all kinds of impactful, inspiring, life-changing moments one-on-one as well. So both as the coach and the coachee. So now we're going to take that same thing you just saw and flip it on its side. Now it's just like the power curve you saw, where on the far right-hand side, that's all the most expensive stuff where the fewest number of people, but they pay the most amount of money. And here on a funnel, it's at the bottom of the funnel where the biggest gold comes from. Or now just flip it sideways. I know some of you aren't like visually skilled, so I want to like just break this down. That's why I'm doing it like this, step by step. This is exactly how I teach. This is how I've taught, you know, an 83-year-old great grandmother from California named Ruth. And I got her up to $400 a month residual income back in 2007. When she first called me, she didn't know how to email. She came in from a newspaper ad I was running, and I had to walk her through on the phone how to use email. She got, using the power of internet network marketing, grew a team and got up to $400 a month residual income when I was a year into this. Obviously, I'm just a little bit better by now, a little bit better coach, a little bit better leader, a little bit better marketer, a little bit better at communication, a little more effective. I'm super exaggerating. Far. I'm not even close to the same. That I'm grateful for that young Jason Cardamone from 2007. I'm also grateful, just like the little 6-year-old Jason and all the things that they went through. I am not even close. I'm like version 10,367 or something like that. So now I'm going to start to break down. So low ticket on top, high ticket on bottom. The pricing starts from low, goes higher and higher as you go down. Now, if you only start with low ticket, here's the problem. When I only did low ticket programs, it took a long time to ever get to a full-time income, even as an overachieving like freak, working early mornings, late nights, with the job, with a family and young kid or two, and not even seeing my son now that just turned 18. I didn't even see him his first 2 years of his life because I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, driving an hour each way, 6 days a week. So that's another 12 hours. I was gone for almost 80 hours a week. Plus, I knew I had to create leverage because I wasn't even about to miss his entire life. And since then, since 2008, when he was almost 3 years old, I have now been literally to every single thing, every event in school. We've traveled the world. We've done all kinds of things. So that was one of my big whys, why I knew I couldn't be trapped in corporate America, because I mastered every single skill at every company I ever went to. And I always got stuck and they wouldn't pay me more. And I wasn't learning more and I got bored to death. And I wasn't making the money I knew I was worth. So I had to discover entrepreneurship. Now, same thing. What if we only focused on just high ticket programs? The problem is we're missing mega impact. Why? Because it's just that little sliver of people on the far right side of Perry Marshall's power curve, like I showed you 5 or 6 screens ago. And we're also missing a ton of money. And I'm going to show you, I'll show you over $500,000 I've created from a low ticket program from back in December 2008. And it's the only thing that's paid me residual income every single month since then. And it's unbelievable. It's like the last program I ever would have believed would have survived. So some quick education for those that are new to marketing. And by the way, guys, keep your questions and comments coming. Tristan, Michael, all of you. I love it. Even if I don't acknowledge it, you're shaping some of the thoughts and how I'm saying what I'm saying. So thank you. It all makes an impact. So affiliate versus network marketing. What you're seeing on here, this is a typical, what this would actually be. It looks to be like a forced 3x7 matrix compensation plan. There's 4 main types of network marketing comp plans. Don't worry about any of that. The main thing is what's cool about network marketing and what I love, what I loved about it when I first joined it in May of 2006, or when I came back to join it after swearing off the industry and losing 5,000 borrowed dollars of my parents' money in 1998 to a big company that was in massive momentum that got shut down by the FTC for what's called front loading. So won't go into the details, but I swore off the industry. That was my first few months out of college working at Lockheed Martin. And I wasn't sleeping. I was sleeping 4 hours a night for 90 days straight, trying to build that thing. Outside of launching rockets or actually waiting for a security clearance, all I did was learn about network marketing, or at least old school stuff. We were walking through malls with my sponsor, they were cold call pitching belly to belly right there in the mall. And it was one of the most painful and experiences that shaped my life, that I knew I was never going to do that stuff. Even though a few years later, I started a gigantic sales company, Wolf of Wall Street, boiler room style. And some of you have heard of all of that. And it's what shaped my thirst for learning marketing and not just being a top salesperson, which I've done many times in my life too, both brick and mortar and not. And I love that it looks like a pyramid scheme. And what's really interesting is that, in fact, there's a whole video around this. In fact, if I can find this, in fact, I know I can find it. Give me 1 second. If this is fast enough. Give me 1 second, everyone. I have this really cool video right about this topic. It's 4 hours and 40 seconds. So here, I'll play I'll play like a few minutes of it for you, or less.
Get better. I have decided that my job sucks, the economy sucks, and the only way things are going to get better is if I do something about it.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to build a network marketing business.
What is network marketing?
A network marketing company allows you to build your own business by creating a group of distributors and customers that consume the products sold by the company.
That sounds like one of those pyramid things.
What do you mean by pyramid things?
One of those things where the only people that make lots of money are the people at the top.
You mean like the company you work for?
But don't you have to get in early to make any money?
Actually, in a good network marketing company, you can make more money than the people above you if you are more productive.
Are you sure it isn't a pyramid scheme?
Yes.
How are you so sure?
A pyramid scheme is where you make all of your money by recruiting others and there is no product or service being exchanged.
It still sounds like a pyramid scheme.
In a legitimate network marketing company, you make most or all of your money from people using the products.
It still sounds like a pyramid scheme.
In what way?
So I'm gonna cut it off there. I'll throw it into the chat in case anybody wants to go bookmark that and watch it later. You're more than welcome to. There's a little unplanned little nugget, but so here's the deal. Everything like the people who start corporations, they are the ones that make all the money or the majority of it, or the principals. And it does matter getting in early to get like stock options. So how many of you would love to be a part of Apple back when, Steve Jobs was in the garage with Wozniak and some other dudes? By the way, both Steve Jobs movies are freaking fantastic. Watch both of them. So it's, and guys and gals, I am not against corporate America at all. I used to like harp on it a lot more. There's a place for having a stable income. There are many times in my career I wished I had a job that paid 10, 15 grand a month. Those are just really hard to find, especially in certain economies. Even with, I literally have mastered several different entire fields of study. And so anyway, with all that said, it can serve you in a great way to keep a steady income, but don't get comfortable with it and bust your ass on the side to double your income and then triple it. So you have the option to have more time and financial freedom. And I mean, if 3 years ago, nobody could go in around jobs and everybody started going to Zoom and so many businesses closed down and all this stuff, if that wasn't enough to wake you up, I see loved ones right on this webinar. It rocked your world. Some of you completely lost income. Some of you were restricted on income. Some of you, your companies wouldn't give anybody a raise for like 1 or 2 years straight. And there's so many variations of all that. Like, you don't need another event before you finally get busy and serious about everything that I'm teaching here. So How are sales typically generated in affiliate or network marketing? So usually traffic comes in somehow, leads from a company, leads from the team, or you run your own ads, leads from secret team methods. Let's just throw in like AI, Facebook posts, videos, YouTube, somewhere in there sometimes. So in one of my high ticket things, a call would get scheduled. So this is for a high ticket example. A sale is made or not. If it's not made, follow up until they buy or die. I love that Wolf of Wall Street scene. So I don't believe in that same attitude, but it's hilarious. And I'm always going to come at you with edutainment. So it's very wise to automate and use technology, even with your follow-up systems. I have a very good friend. I don't know if he's on here. In fact, why don't I flip to the tab where I can see more names? So I have a very good friend that is using, he's in a high ticket sales-based business. He's using some technology that costs him about $100 a month that keeps all of his follow-up super organized. And that instantly boosted him in the top 5% of all salespeople in the history of humanity. Why? Because he doesn't just call them, they say no, and then he forgets about them because he's working hundreds of people at the same time. Because you can't keep hundreds of leads in mind at the same time. Use technology, automate. Even better, get people to do the closing. Get setters and closers, or openers and closers is what we created in the industry a lot of years ago. But a lot of the marketing industry starts to call them setters now, an appointment setter. So they're really called openers and closers from back in the day. So if when a sale comes in, you welcome them in, do coaching and stuff, and then there's leverage there. That was for a particular model here. So now let's look at what a 2-tier high, or usually a high ticket. Sometimes it's a low ticket. Like there's some affiliate programs that have 2 tiers. How these work is that you're here. When you bring people in, you get a certain percentage. When they bring people in, you get usually a smaller percentage of their efforts. But then anyone on level 2, that they could go bring in 1 million people each, and you get nothing from level 2 and below. Something I'm going to show you is a 5-tier program, which is, so by the way, 2-tier or less is not categorized as network marketing compensation plan. Once you get to 3 levels or more, that falls under the multi-level marketing, the directs, the network marketing laws, and those are more regulated by the FTC in the US and even all around the world. And here's what affiliate marketing looks like. There's not 7 levels, there's not 2 levels, there's 1 level. So whatever you bring in, that's what you get paid, done. There's no leverage whatsoever. I do not like those kind of programs. They are not, what they require is like the same problem with any kind of sales job. Every month starts over 0. You're at 0 on the first of every month. You start from scratch. Maybe you had a pipeline and some leads built up, but unless you've automated things and you just have things running for you. Like I have a colleague that made over $1 million in the direct sales industry with a leveraged compensation plan. They didn't do anything in the business the entire year. The entirety of the whole thing is outsourced. All the traffic, all the closing, all the coaching, all the welcoming in, putting in the team systems, even them taking checks to the bank is outsourced to somebody else. They literally profited, or they made 7 figures, over $1 million in the past 12 months, fully automated everything. Now, you don't start doing that. You need some resources, but I want you to dream big. I am modeling much of what I just shared with you. My targets are no less than $1 million a year, even though I'm being coached by a pretty top coach around different areas. I've already made $2 million in 5 months in crypto gaming. So I probably need to up my numbers and make them bigger than anything I've ever done. But to do that in the marketing world, that's a new beast for me. Does that make sense? So anyway, now here's what a lot of people don't know. I hope you all understand, like, this is so many leadership meetings over the last 17 years, the back rooms with company owners and only the top leaders that are making 10, 20, $100,000 a month and beyond. And you don't learn this stuff on the surface. You don't even learn this stuff in most of any network marketing book I've ever seen or read. So most leaders join 2, 3, 5+ levels deep in your organization. Most leaders do not join you directly. You do have a greater chance for more top leaders to join you once you have more authority and influence, but that takes time. It takes results. It takes consistency over a lot of years. And even then, most of the leaders that join my teams don't join me directly. They join deeper in the team. So in fact, the top leader on a newer team I'm building over the past 3 weeks, that person is down on my 4th level. First, second, actually my 3rd level. So they didn't join me. They joined 3 levels deep. If I was in a 2-tier program, wouldn't even have made anything even when they joined. So this was an example. I'm not going to go through this, but the problem is, in lower tier, like 1 and 2 tier programs, now there's benefits. You can make big money quickly, especially if you are a top producer, but you can't ever stop marketing. You can't ever stop selling or putting systems in place and hiring people to do all that for you. So some of that is what birthed some of what you're seeing here. So now we're going to talk about the low ticket, high ticket stuff and flip it all around. This is going to be one of the most important slides, so pay attention, especially if I keep clicking. So this is that same pyramid, but now we flip the whole thing around. So now you've seen it from left to right, the power curve, and then you saw it from top to bottom like a funnel. Now you're seeing a value ladder, which is more like a pyramid, where the lowest ticket is on the bottom and the highest ticket is on the top. Does that make sense? There's a reason why I'm throwing it to you in these different directions. I'm programming your brain to understand things that I'm not going into the psychology right now. So now let's add a little meat to the screen that you're seeing right here. So first thing, very bottom. I love it, Mike. Take care, Tristan. So the first thing, I'm going to be introducing a new low ticket vehicle, and I'm going to share some more about this later in the webinar. So it's slower to get to full time in low ticket vehicles. You get paid many levels deep, large focus on residual income, large focus on leverage. Even people in third world countries are doing really, really well in this program. You almost never see someone from the Philippines or Nigeria or other. There's leaders popping up in countries all around the world, and it's not just dominated by first world countries. That is an incredibly healthy sign. One of the things you want to look for is when you have people joining your team and you can't pronounce their name and you don't even know where they live. That's how you're starting to create a healthy organization. Have any of you ever had that? Type a 3 into the chat. And so that's awesome. We do have a couple. Now it's rare, so you're not going to see a lot of 3s. That's super awesome. I love seeing that. Congrats, you guys. This thing is under $150, covers a whole year, all this other stuff. It's like some awesome stuff going on there. Now, this is what I'm introducing to you. These are the things I am focusing on. And some things could change over time based. Why? Because I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 and 10 years. So, but I've realized when I get stuck in any single little program, how much that's hurt myself and my team more often than not. There's a couple of people who luck out, they had some big leader join them, they get some kind of leverage, and they end up, making a full-time income or beyond. And sometimes they'll I have a low ticket thing I'll show you that I'm not going to introduce to you, but I am going to use it as an example. It still pays me residual income to this day since December 2008. And there are people that join the thing every single day. So somebody got a bunch of value as an inspired, and they still use it as part of their own value ladder. In fact, the people growing that have a value ladder like you're seeing here. They don't just have a single program. That's fascinating. So some kind of monthly training. So I do have a couple programs that do have affiliate programs. Whether they had affiliate or not, I can still back them. So that's if you're only selling something because of the affiliate program and not because of the product or service, that's a major red flag. Please check what you're really doing. And if you are, like, God forbid, if that's like your full-time income, please start making some adjustments while you can, because it will never, ever last like that. They never do. So be careful. There's some core components. You're literally breaking some of the universal laws as if you think you can jump up and float up into space against gravity without any kind of technology or just with your human meat suit. So that you can't do that, right? Nobody's ever just jumped and like landed on the moon standing on planet Earth unless they have some kind of technology to get there, right? And maybe even that was all faked moon landing, all that. I'm not even going into that. And so believing that you can promote a program that you're only doing it for the income and it's not a solid product or service, that's like thinking you're going to make it up to the moon by jumping right now. Let's see how far I can get. And I got some major hops compared to, I have a higher vertical than most people on the whole planet, which is, I've just always had that. I don't know how or why. So I didn't get very far. I can't even touch my freaking ceiling. I do have pretty high ceilings down here. So monthly marketing training, anywhere from, I'm 50 to 80% one-tier programs. I have a couple. Learning a bunch of marketing basics. Exactly. And there's less gravity in Colorado, like Mike shared. I love it, man. There's no leverage in these things. They cost anywhere from like 25 to about a couple $100 a month. There are a couple different in fact, one of them actually goes up to some higher level training as well, even up to like live events and everything. So I'm not going to go into specifics tonight, but those of you who are on different teams of mine, whether it's high ticket, low ticket, or whatever, some of these make more sense based on what program you're in. So anyway, I have been very, 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 very busy getting up to speed with everything in the industry right now that's working, that's solid. And thankfully I have so many connections all around. And so it was so much harder back when I was starting to try to figure out if something was a scam or not. Really, all I knew how to do was to get in and just try to figure it all out on my own. And I didn't know how to I didn't know how to model people or even what questions to vet company owners with. So the next moving up the ladder here. I love it. Yeah, Rob, exactly right, man. Great to see you too. So, and what up? Welcome on, Derek. I was just sharing a cool story. And I don't think you were on yet. So, and it's about leveraging, using technology to kick butt in a sales business to keep on top of all your leads so that you're instantly in the top 5% of all salespeople just from a technology advantage. Guys and gals, I'm not even selling you that tool tonight, and I'm not going to talk about it. The reason I'm sharing this is that using technology alone can put you in the top percentage of the whole industry. In that case, the industry of sales. Now, if you actually have sales training and learn NLP and marketing and human psychology and sales psychology and human behavior, and you know your own stuff of all that too, now you actually can influence people and help them and truly make a big difference. But without the technology, you're going to be, even with all that other training, but without the technology to keep it all organized, you will definitely not be in the top percentage of salespeople. So technology can be a major blessing. It can also be a major cursing and drawback. So just like most people just scroll their Facebook profile and they're looking at cat videos and wasting time, all I do now, they're not wasting time. They're choosing to invest their time with what is something that is playing with their dopamine and serotonin and all the feel-good chemicals in their brain. I'm not going to go deep in this, but you have to understand we are literally animals at our core, and the animalistic part of us operates in milliseconds, whereas our thinking forebrain, which is the newest part of our brain, how we've invented like everything. In fact, go watch the movie Lucy if you've never seen it. It's Morgan Freeman does an incredible breakdown, and it's entertaining and it's highly accurate. And so our forebrain thinks much, much slower, like on the order of seconds. So if we're not thinking our life through and mapping and planning and organizing things out, we're just going to run around like a bunch of animals. And that does not get you, it's what most of the world does. Now, Facebook, go watch the Social Dilemma, did a fantastic job. Now it's a lot of edutainment, but if you really understand the technology, it's not too far from literally what they paint in the movie. It's just not real people. But the AI, especially once you learn more about AI, which you're just about to. So just please keep learning about yourself and what makes people work. And it's been my life's work. I know I'm one of the world's foremost experts. Why? Because I've spent countless tens of thousands of hours in that. And it is my highest obsession for more decades, like for my entire life. So that also leads us into the 12-week reboot and rank up. This is not open, and I'm not selling this tonight. This will be open publicly and privately for anywhere between $100 and $500. Now, why the price differences? Because depending on if you're members of different teams and different programs with me, you're going to get big discounts. Why is nobody getting in for nothing? Because you have to be highly committed. Nobody's getting in the program without a big commitment coming in, even though $100 is not a big commitment. And so your experience in the program and your ability to do damage to the small coaching groups that we put everyone in, it doesn't work if people bail on the program. And so a small percentage will bail, and it'll be done strategically and quickly early on. So anyway, this is some of what's happening. Exactly. LJ shares, people don't respect or value what they get for nothing. I want you to realize even me selling the program for $500 is completely absurd because of the life change. I've already taught this program 3 years ago, and it's the greatest thing I've ever given to humanity so far. But I only started with this tiny little niche of a tiny team back 3 years ago. Now I'm super grateful, but the amount of lives that have been impacted both during it and in the 3 years since, the vision was always to launch this out publicly to the whole world. And that's exactly what I will be doing in the coming, I don't know. I have it on a slide somewhere. I think it's on this slide in a minute. So this is I'm only going to talk about this for the next minute, and that's it. So this is coaching, accountability, gamification, and even healing trauma that every leader, company owner, top rep, every soul, every single human being I've ever crossed paths with needs, including my closest loved ones, including my children. It's a high focus on awareness and building your life around your top values. And I could give so many examples of this right now. There's people on here right now. I watch them crushing it in their online business. They're very aware of their top values. They build their life around them. They execute on those every single day. You're watching me do it right here in the webinar. So, and also taking and recording action and income producing activities. I'm probably not going to have any kind of affiliate program attached. I don't want people slinging that out there for like trying to make a ton of money. if I do any affiliate program, it's going to pay small, exactly like Dr. DeMartini does. He only pays out between like 5-10%, maybe 15% based on whether it's a live program or a recorded one. And I'll probably do something 5 to 20% max. I'm not doing it to have an army of affiliates. Because I want the right people in there. And then there's going to be a maintenance to it, because what we didn't do last time was just to maintain everything moving forward in a group environment. This time it's going to be maintained after the 12 weeks plus or minus. So I'm not going to go into a bunch of details. I have another high ticket program focused completely on personal development. And it also has a really cool USP, unique selling proposition, where the company provides some leads. It is an opportunity to get to a full-time income quickly. We also have some cool systems set up to help you really so if you have more time than money, even though it's a high ticket program, a lot of people tend to have more money, and so they can throw money at leads and stuff. Excuse me. That particular program, we have a cool little method that you have more time than money, and we can show you how to bring in tons of leads. And in fact, I'm going to be teaching parts of that in all other programs as well. And you'll see those things in time. So I have another high ticket program, which is basically like the end all target, that if someone, so this would be like the current farthest right side of the power curve. Now, this will not be the end. I recently met one of my newer friends here in the past few months that they have a client that they charge $350,000 for 6 months of coaching. It was either 6 or 12 months, I forgot. And they have many clients that for anywhere from 3 to 12 months, they charge between $30,000 and $350,000. So obviously that's a lot higher than a little $9,000 to $12,000 program, right? So I am not done with all this stuff. The value ladder will continue to go at some point. So I am also not a cheap date. I also don't want to do one-on-one coaching with where I'm at in my life and career. It would have to be a really good fit where you and we're both all on board with it. We both know we're going to get a ton of value and impact out of it. And like, anyway, that I'm just not interested in any kind of one-on-one coaching stuff, with where I'm at. It could present itself sometime down the road. You have to be the perfect client. And I'm not, that's like number 0. Like it's not even on the chart here. Does that make sense? This particular high ticket program, it does have some leverage. It's not just a 1 or 2 tier thing like the other high ticket over here. And it does have the possibility to be a back end residual income. It also leverage means team members, multiple levels deep, that you can still make money from. And so it also has an incredible product with it as well. Everything on here, these are the best products and services with the best compensation plans on the planet. That's like, oh, and then our little newcomer. So I talked about this on a Facebook Live today, an AI mastery program. I don't know if this is going to be better over like a 2-day, like a whole weekend. We go all day and night, Saturday and Sunday. It would definitely be 8 to 12-hour days with breaks in the middle, little breaks for lunch and bathroom breaks and all that kind of stuff, where I will pour in everything that I've learned and that I am learning about AI. I'm not ready to put that out there to the world. I could definitely teach for a good 10 or 20 hours right now. Like we can spend the whole next week and I could teach you AI, charge you $1,000 whatever dollars, and just greatly impact. Even though this is saying 300 to 500. So a lot of what I like to do is buy a whole bunch of incredible life-changing programs and then go teach it to people for a better value and with a more unique spin and style and a different technique. And just so you all know as well, that, and that will work in a similar way to the 12-week reboot and rank up, where it is a lot of you're holding yourself accountable, and you have small groups, and like it's so awesome seeing these groups and communities develop. But one of the things I wanted to share with all of you, I'm already in an AI program that was more than $1,000 to get started. It's by some top marketers. A lot of you would know them. And I'm in another one, which is just freaking incredible how I ended up in it. I'm basically with almost all of Tony Robbins' platinum partners, which all pay Tony $80,000 per year. And I know the gentleman who started it, and I saw him start this group on Facebook. And so I just jumped in, and I wasn't supposed to. He didn't realize it was like viewable. And he was like, and he knows me really well. We've ran in some different things, and he's a mentor and a good friend of mine. And he's like, Jason, you're meant to be. He's also the guy that I'm in Tony's. I'm a published author because of this gentleman as well. And so he said, well, it's meant to be. Let's go, man. So those are obviously not like tire kicking kind of people. They're paying Tony, what, $7,500 a month to be a part of that tribe and that program. And so that is obviously around a very elite crowd. And that I love that. I love, so those are, this is not just some rehashed $1,000 AI course. Like, I am deep, and I've been deep for months, and I'm getting deeper by the day because I'm obsessed with learning technology. And so those things I played with today, I've never made those videos ever before. And I did all of that within the span of even remembering the tool names or whatever, less than 20 minutes for both of those videos you saw total. I've never, ever done that ever. My first time through. So you bet your butt when I've made like 10 of those. And by the way, I made them with a pretty fake looking character on the screen. It gets crazy when you start seeing how realistic they can get. So anyway, and the technology is still brand new. So in a year from now, if you ever see a video of me and something seems off and it doesn't seem aligned with my values, that's because somebody grabbed my face, threw it AI, threw my voice in, and it's not even me. So how are you going to vet against that? Well, on Facebook, look for the blue check. We're going to have check marks everywhere. And so, and that's just the beginning of the cat and mouse back and forth of technology. So tonight, we're going to focus, a big focus on the low ticket vehicle down here. So why? Because it appeals to the widest number of people, like I showed you on the power curve. It's the easiest, both, well, you'll understand at the end of the webinar, why it's the easiest to utilize AI tools and all the wisdom. And also, by the way, let me say this really quickly, because I don't want to forget later in the webinar. I know there's some of you on here that actually you were only introduced to me from like somebody else that's on here. Now, I didn't plan for this, and this isn't designed for this, but will you please make sure anything you see on here that you're interested, I'm only going to introduce like 2 programs, and most of you are going to be primarily interested in just one of them if you're not already in. And so please make sure you go to like who our connection is from other streams of income and stuff. I always try to keep lines of sponsorship intact. And those of you who already are personally like referred by me and everything else, and if you're not in things yet, and you should be, game time, baby. So the AI course and the 12-week reboot and rank up are not ready. Probably sometime in May for one or both, but ready, fire, aim. That stuff will be sorted in the weeks to come. Just keep it on your radar. I didn't mean to pound your eardrums there. If you have a big sub like I do, that'll be like, so you've already seen some of the power, what's possible. Let's dive a little deeper. So this is incredible. We have more people on right now than when we started tonight. And this is the part that some of you like were waiting the whole time. I don't even know how we're doing on time. So there's hyper growth happening with AI. I'm just going to call it AI. It's the fastest growing technology ever in the entire history of all of humanity, period. Now, before we even go to how fast AI is growing, technology was already planned that what we've seen happen over the last 30 years is going to be compressed, and that same amount of change just in the next 10 years. So I want you to think back. I mean, God, this is, I'm tearing up over this. This is insane. Think back to the original Nintendo, the NES. I don't have a bunch of slides for this. If you watch the crypto gaming thing, I did a whole workup of all the history of technology. And if you think about what we had back then, I discovered Nintendo at one of my best friend's house at the time. It was on this crappy 13-inch black and white TV in their room. And we were playing, I saw Super Mario Brothers for the first time, or Super Mario for those of you in New York. And is anybody from New York on here, by the way? So type NY in the chat or whatever, or anywhere in that area. My dad's whole side of the family is from Philly, so they might call it Mario as well. And so think about what we had back then. Think about what we didn't have, which is like these supercomputers in the palm of our hand. Look at how thin this thing is. This thing has incredible technology on my wrist. We have incredible, I'm surrounded by technology. Some of you are halfway around the world, but yet we're connected here, and you're hearing my voice live, and you're seeing things, and we're connected as if we're face to face. And if I pulled you out on camera, we could have a face-to-face chat. I wrote a college paper about this in 93 or 4 about the information superhighway. And I happen to get 100%. And in the teacher's 10-year career, she's only given out 3 or 4 ever. She actually called my parents. Have you ever had a college professor call your parents? I don't even think I think I just turned 18. I was young in school compared to most. And I was talking about playing video games with a cousin that doesn't even live in your state. Can you imagine what we can do with the information superhighway? It wasn't called the internet yet. And so think about how far we've come. Because when I wrote that, anyone who read it was like, this is science fiction. But yet the science fiction, I just showed you some stuff that looks like it's from Ready Player One. Those things, it's not too far from that, right? That was created in seconds with no effort, with a crappy image where the teeth are kind of messed up. I put nothing, like you have to understand, if I would have put hours into that, that thing would be looking freaky real if I chose to. I chose to make it look less than. That's why I kind of waited till the last minute. So that's awesome, Tara. I love that. It's so cool. So what I wanted to share though, like this has been, obviously, our papers were not supposed to be about technology, but yet mine was. Why? Because I've been in human behavior and technology my entire life. Hang on. I don't have my stand-up desk, so if you see me moving all around, I got to reorganize my little rolly chair. So this is an email that Perry Marshall sent out, and it's a little clip from it. I want to read this to you, okay? This is how far AI has come. So the first version of ChatGPT, it was 3, or sorry, I was probably version 3.5. So the next version, which is now here, and it's called ChatGPT 4, released only 3 months later, is 20 times better than its predecessor from only 3 months before. Let that sink in. 3 months, 20x gain. Computers usually get twice as fast about every, well, I forgot the numbers. It's like 1, 2, 3 years. Twice as fast, 2 times. We're talking at a 0. 20 times improved in 3 freaking months. So when I say how realistic those videos and things will be in the months to come, when I warn you, you're going to have loved ones that are going to get what sounds like a phone call or looks like a video on a Zoom from you, but somebody's cloned you and you're asking them to send you money, but it's actually some hacker or scammer and they're sending money to someone else and it's not you, and your family member isn't prepared, well, I take responsibility for this stuff. That's why I want all my family members learning this on this tonight. The ones that aren't here, like Mike shares. Mike has also been in technology his entire life. He's one of the best programmers I've ever met, far better than I ever was. You can't trust video anymore. Deep fakes proved that. And we're just getting started. What's crazy is now a kid can do deep fakes in like minutes. So I'm not sharing this to scare you, but I want you freaking paying attention. I am appealing to the animal part of you. I do want you a little scared. I want you aware, because if you don't understand what we can do, then you don't understand how you can be taken advantage of. It's exactly why Robert Cialdini wrote the book Influence and talked about all the sales psychology hacks, so you don't get sold and like, you know, you don't get taken advantage of by a sneaky salesperson. This is like a big heart of why I've been sharing all the stuff I've been doing for a long, long time. That's incredible what Aaron just shared. So he read an article on quantum computing, and if we had those in the 50s, we would have had smartphones in 1975. Bottom line is things are going to change huge in the next 5, 10, and 15 years. So let's go to specifically to what's happened with ChatGPT. That's world domination kind of stuff when it's 20 times better, right? He just got this email from his partner, Jim Sewick. I forgot how to say his name. I've heard it a whole bunch, just forgot. So Jim wrote to Perry, FYI, I got access to the ChatGPT-4 API. It's a lot better, most notably for longer copy. It's fooling my AI detectors. In all my checks, it thinks a human wrote it greater than 90%, 95% of the time, which is 19 out of 20 things that he fed it. It was fooling the AI detectors. This new one, ChatGPT-4, that's the one out now. ChatGPT and GPT-3 usually test less than 5% to fool an AI detector, his AI detector, or he says detectors plural. So by the way, if you don't know Perry Marshall, I don't think I've ever seen him exaggerate, and he's a straight shooter, and he's one of the most unbiased people I've ever met. It's one of the reasons I love him. Same thing with Dr. John DeMartini. They're two of my favorite people on the planet because they tend to teach with minimum bias. It's incredible. So when ChatGPT was released in January, people were already touting, hang on, guys. When it was released in January, people were already touting it as an innovation that could rival the advent of social media or even the internet itself. Do you realize how big this is? Please, every single one of these sentences could be an aha moment. I'm having them rereading it for the 5th, 6th, 7th time. But one upgrade later, and less than 3 months later, ChatGPT's ability to mimic human communication has led to even more astounding beliefs, from 5 to 95%. It's staggering. This will change everything. It'll change your traffic, your conversion, your economics. And of course, the things that used to be 80-20 now are going to become the 99-1. So here's part of why I'm trying to share this with you. If you're not using AI, you're now in the 99% left behind. If you're afraid of AI, you want to go bury yourself under a rock, then you just give all the power to all your competitors. You know why every country in the world's in a hard spot? Because we don't really know what AI is going to do. But yet, if they ban it from their country and citizens, they just crippled them, and the rest of the world will smash you right off the map. Just like throughout study thousands of years of human history. That's what humans do. They dominate, they grow a military, they smash everyone else off a map, usually using religion or politics as excuses, or economics. It's all big power plays. So that's literally the history of all of humans. So check it out. Oh, I guess that's exactly what he says. If you're the 99 and not the one, you're left holding the bag. Less traffic, fewer conversions, poorer bottom line. In other words, you're going bankrupt. In other words, your job is at risk. In other words, yes, all the automatic AI driving cars that we'll see all over from Amazon, and then soon Uber as well. And Lyft will probably be completely run off the map because they can't hang with Uber. Uber's already downgrade. They're already paying their drivers less and less and less since I started using them in 2014. I interview every Uber driver. I've taken like 50 rides, and every single one, they always keep talking about the pay is less over time. And they're already starting to be replaced with automatic driving cars and all kinds of stuff. So that's not even AI, right? AI will accelerate all this. So let's introduce you to ChatGPT, your copywriting friend, the new Google. So I didn't plan on doing this. I'm gonna show you something really incredible. Shit, I'm gonna open up a whole bag of tricks for you. I was just gonna show you one thing. So I just wrote, I think the most recent 7, 8, 9, 10 emails that I've sent to my email list over the course of the past week or two, that they are in this thread you're in right now. In fact, do you recognize this? Subject, hey, first name, discover how AI can supercharge your online business. Join our webinar. Hey there, first name. I've got some exciting news. If you haven't registered yet, we're hosting an exclusive webinar that will reveal how AI technology can completely transform the way you approach your online business. Join me on what we're on right now. During this game-changing webinar, we'll cover leveraging the power of AI to dominate any company we touch, building resilient You Inc. business that safeguards your future. Strong call to action. Click here to secure your spot for the webinar. Obviously, like this stuff. Yeah, here's Mike recognizes another tool, which I'm not even going to talk about tonight. I love it, man. Great eye. So what I will share with you, let's see what led to this last email. The very last thing here. So I'm just going to show you what I did. So I asked it to relist an initial set of emails for me that it had helped me write or design, like a 30,000-foot view. Here's the main email and what it's supposed to be out. Here's the main topics in each one. You want to see how it came up with all this? We're going to be scrolling up for centuries. If I can find the sidebar. Oh my gosh. Wait. No way. Come on. Okay. Here we go. I'm about to, I've never done this in my life in this way. I've never allowed all my emails to be controlled by AI. And I didn't this full series, but this gave me a tremendous head start. And I've never got this many emails out, this organized, that actually flow from one to the next. That's all because I used ChatGPT to help me stay organized. So here's what I did. I gave it a role. Please take notes on this. Can you make it so we can read your screen? So Mark, you cannot read my, are you on a laptop or a computer, first of all? If you can't read this, then you need to blow, I'll try to make, this isn't going to work too well, but I'll blow it up that big in case some of you are on mobile phones. So I told it to play a role. I want you to play the role of, you are an expert at email copywriting. Look what it titled it, Expert Email Copywriting. And I said, I would like you to write in the style of Frank Kern. Now, it literally just said, boom, it just started doing an email. I was like, wait, what the heck? I didn't want that. I actually told it to stop because it just started spitting out an email. I didn't tell it. I just said it's an expert and write in the style of Frank Kern. Now, the reason why I had to stop it, I didn't give it enough details. I'm not going into a full course tonight, but I'm going to give you about 5 minutes of freaking fire. Nobody's giving it roles, like almost nobody is telling it to play a role. Now, what I should have did is what you'll see. So I stopped and I said, hey, I'm looking to write a series of emails that I can send out over the next week to warm up my list, because I haven't emailed them for 2 or 3 years at all, maybe once, who haven't been sent an email for many months. I actually did a couple back in November. Some of them won't be used to getting emails from me. I want you to start by asking me a few questions so that you understand my goals and desired outcome. Here's clue number 2. Tell it to ask you questions to get a clear outcome. And it says, hey there, sounds like you're ready to re-engage with your email list and get them excited about what you have to offer. I'm thrilled to help you out with that. Let's start with a few questions so I can understand your goals and desired outcomes better. Now, it came and asked me 7 questions. Once you provide me more information, I'll be able to craft a compelling and effective email series. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down. So what's the primary purpose? What are you looking to promote? A certain product or service? Do you want to focus on reestablishing, or do you want to focus on reestablish a connection with your subscribers? My answer is like, yes, I want all of that. So we go down, I type number 1. My primary purpose is to first reestablish a connection with subscribers. Then, now this is all me writing and communicating back and forth before it ever did any work. If you don't give it clear outcomes and objectives, where all the time was spent is answering the 7 questions right there. Once I gave it this, unfreaking believable what it gave me. Those of you on my email list, I'm literally sharing you exactly what just happened. I edited probably 5 to 20% of anything that it gave me, and that's it. And a lot of it was right in here. And I said, hey, I don't like this. Can you make this fix something? Mike Cotton says it got him to join on the 3rd email. That's pretty cool. I told her for number 5, I didn't have any current testimonials. I'd like to send an email a day, but not include any links until day 3 or 4. I probably broke some of this here and there. The call to action in the first 1 to 2 emails is to have them reply to my email. Why? Because then it gives me better email deliverability when people are replying to me. And I knew I hadn't emailed for a while. Plus, I'd really never had people email me. So I wanted to work on my reputation a bit as well. So it says, thanks for the answers. Based on your input, I prepared a brief outline of the email series, which I believe will blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so you can see it. Reestablish a connection. Subject, long time no see, so-and-so, let's catch up. Reconnect with the subscribers, acknowledge the gap in communication, share some personal updates and developments in your business, ask them to reply to the email, share their challenges and desires related to making money online. By the way, everybody, the people that responded, if I would have had more time, I was going to take out some names and share with you. I got about 40 or 50 people that shared their challenges, their desires, where they're at. Some of them wrote a sentence or 2. Some of them wrote many paragraphs. And it was, first of all, incredibly freaking inspiring. Secondly, it helped me remember, like, holy crap, some of these people I hadn't heard from in 5, 10 plus years. I shouldn't just live in the tiny little world of the Book of Faces. And I'm totally been ignoring YouTube, which is so not smart as a marketer. And that's why this webinar you're watching, the recording, I'm planning on putting it on YouTube and everywhere else I can, probably even Facebook. And anyway, so it gave me an initial set, and then we break down the value ladder in email number 3, webinar invitation number 4, email 5, product reveal. Now, I didn't really get all these done in 5 days because originally this was going to be done last Thursday. I just got too busy launching a new business that I'm super pumped about, that I'm going to share some more details with you in a couple minutes here. And so I ended up doing all that. There was basically a gap in here, and I did send some other emails, but I still followed kind of the same framework. And I kept coming to my expert here and asking for guidance around, hey, does this sound okay? Is it still organized? Is it still in the same tone that we've written our other emails in? And it found all kinds of things. It was really cool. So, and it shares with this whole outline, warm up my list, address their pain points, gradually introduce them to my low ticket offer. Do you guys realize like how many of you type a 5 in the chat if you've joined me in a low ticket offer in the past 2 weeks? Type a 5 in the chat, please. If you've joined me personally. And I want all of you to see. Now, I don't know if it shows this in the replay. I think it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like at least 13, 14, 15, 16. That's half the webinar right there. Just came in from using the power of technology. Now, obviously, I had to answer the questions, right? And so some of the magic was in here, but this isn't even, look at, I wrote, this is like 2 sentences for number 1. It's 3 or 4 sentences for number 2. I want the tone to be casual and friendly as if I'm directly writing directly to a close friend. That's how I always write and talk. I'm talking to you right now. I tend to not say you guys, everybody, except for where it's appropriate. In the writing and copywriting style of Frank Kern, I could have used Russell Brunson. I could have used Tony Robbins. I could have used anybody who has a lot of material out there that Chat GPT can understand. I just chose that just because I don't know. I just went with it. I could have used other copywriting people. Anyway, all I did was feed it and answer the questions it asked me to get more clear. And it came up with an initial 5 email series. Now check it out. So now I go to re-email to write email number 1. So it gave me the outline and I said, I would like your help in writing email number 1 at this time in the style of Frank Kern. I'm reminding it what I wanted just in case sometimes it forgets. And in it, I would also like to invite those who know me more closely and who want to see an exciting new residual income program to reply to my email and ask for more details. I did this because I wanted to give people an advantage that were closer to me, that were more likely to reply to the email. And I wanted to give them a preview of things that some of you are just going to see for the first time tonight. Just like I have a really close friend that I shared things with 3 weeks ago, and they actually didn't get in, and they actually ended up losing out on some opportunity because of that. So does this make sense? I'm trying to serve people and get people to reply, and I want to know what they're up to anyway, and warm up my email list and condition my email because I'm getting replies in the email gods out there. And so they like to see when people reply to you. And I gave it some guidance here. And it also prepping them to look out for other emails that'll be coming out for me. And then I say, are there any additional questions you need to ask me to help me flesh out email number 1? Thanks for the additional information. Based on your input, I think I have everything I need to write email number 1 in Frank Kern. Boom, here it is. Long time no see. Hey there. Been a while, huh? Hope you've been doing well. I mean, we can go look on my autoresponder. I basically sent out this email. I may have edited a couple parts, but here's what I want to say. Now, this sucks for someone like me. I've spent so long studying copywriting and how to communicate effectively. And even if I had not studied any of that stuff, just using this technology right in front of you, I just taught you enough where you now are going to write to probably 80 to 90% effectiveness of what I can do on my own. Now, with this thing spitting out the words and everything else, you want to know the biggest problem was that I copy and paste this. And let's say I go to, hang on a second. There's probably some drive things that when I go to copy and paste it, before I put it in the autoresponder, it has the wrong background and all this other stuff. So the biggest pain in the butt was taking the normal text out, but then it got rid of the spacing. So I could have done some things to make the spacing better. I like to do one line with a blank space in between. Oops, that's not part of the email. That's so funny. So my email probably looks something along this, the lines of this. Or I could fumble the keys. Do you see what I'm doing here? White space in between every sentence, essentially. And Mike says Control-Shift-V for raw text. So let's try it. Select all, Control-Shift-V. That's actually what, dude, Mike, thank you, dude. I can't believe I forgot that. I used that for so long and I literally, so that just made half my job easier. Now I just got to take out some of the stuff and then get the, I would encourage you as well, whatever you want in your autoresponder, I would highlight everything. I would make it, whether it's Arial, Verdana, whatever you want to write in. And I like to send my emails in 14. And then also inside the email program, it actually looks something closer to like this because everybody's on tiny devices, usually. So see how much better it looks when you do one sentence per line because everybody's reading on little mobile devices that are this thin now. Does that make sense? Mike, thank you for that hat. Dude, I will gladly send you 50 for that, brother. So there's that. Now check it out. I like this email as a start. Ooh. Can you also add in the reasons why they haven't heard from me in so long? Because I've had some issues with my email account and domain, and I spend so many hours and finally got them sorted out today. And I'm excited to share with them much more where I've been and what I've been up to these past 2 to 3 years. I'm glad you like the email. I'll happily incorporate that other stuff in here. Now, whatever, somewhere in here, it tells them my email's all right here. Had some emails. Good news is after spending many hours, I got everything sorted. That's why you're hearing from me now. Blah, 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 blah. I like to add a PS at the bottom. And there's some private stuff in here. So I want to be careful with how much. So I didn't even want to show this much on Chat GPT, but here's the things I want you to take to the bank. Give it a role to play. And what I should have said at the bottom, I just didn't know this when I was like, literally, I learned by doing while I'm also sucking in all the wisdom out in the world. So what I should have done right here at the bottom was then say, before you, here, I'll just tell you what I would say. Before you respond, please just reply with a yes if all of this is clear so far. And ideally, it's not going to spit out an email, a random email of boost your sales overnight. It doesn't even know what I want. Do you guys realize? Think of this. Most people in the world, good. I'm glad. I wanted to check for some key people that I really want to make sure you understand this. Most people, even if they just did this, they're going to grab whatever this is, and that's what they're going to go use. I don't want to talk about boosting sales overnight, unleash your business potential. That's nothing to do with my subscribers, how they got in the list with me or anything else. They're not all, maybe they're smart entrepreneurs, kind of. Some are, some aren't. You've already built a pretty amazing business. No, most of them haven't built anything and have struggled for decades. So like, do you see how it gave me the total wrong thing? Because I didn't have it right, give me enough clarity. But the most of the world out there, you realize they're sending this shit out there. It's totally incongruent. So by the way, instead of an expert at email copywriting, I could give it all that. I want your help designing a set of Facebook posts that I'm going to feed the scripts we write into a video program. And then it's all going to turn into, I'm not scrolling back. I was going to show you the talking head dudes that I just wrote those words just from being pressed in time. I easily could have grabbed, and by the way, I didn't feed them back into Chat GPT to check for things and make it better, which is a good practice. You should always do that. So was that awesome? Did you guys just get value for investing some time here. Type a 4 into the chat if you just learned something about Chat GPT that you didn't know before. It's funny. Mike Cotton says 4 and Rob 4 is here. I love it, dude. So thank you guys. That's freaking awesome. But wait, there's more. That is not supposed to say. Wait, what? Did I not? My bad. Everyone. Wait, did I? Okay. I was supposed to go through this screen, then go. Do you guys see how like I just want to point this out. Please don't overthink everything. This webinar is going just as well as it ever would have went, even though I have this slide and the next one, they were supposed to be combined together and somehow turned into 2 slides. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed. It didn't ruin the webinar. It's a point to show like nobody's freaking perfect. And if you try to cover that crap up, that's the stuff that keeps people stuck from not taking action and getting out there and just changing lives, including your own. So I want to show you another demo now of Midjourney. This is not your copywriting friend. It's your photo. I edited. I must have done some copying and pasting and wrote over some edits I had done because it's supposed to be your image creation friend. It's the new Adobe Stock. Adobe Stock is where you go grab images from Adobe. This is way, way better. So the Jason's avatar from the beginning was 100% uniquely created inside of Midjourney. I literally just did this today, and I'm going to open it up and show you exactly how it's created right now. Mike, I actually was going to let it do all the slides, and I didn't have time because I changed too much of the material in the last like day or two. But I actually have the whole workflow. If any of you ever want, what tools and exactly what to do to literally have an entire webinar plus all the slides, all the copy, and everything done by AI for you. That was what I started off the mission a couple weeks ago, but I changed it in the middle. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So let me show you Midjourney here. Midjourney is a tool that is inside of a service called Discord. Now, do you see any? Now, I can't make this screen bigger. So all you mobile users, I should have warned you, and I forgot in the first slide, this is far better if you get on a laptop to view. So come back and watch the replay if you need to. But do you notice anything right here? Anything look familiar on this screen by any chance? So what I did was have Midjourney create some images for me. And all I did was like about 30 words or so here. All I did was prompt it and tell me, give me a photo of a man looking at the camera. Dude, it sucked. Only one was looking at the camera. Standing on top of a building. That was a fail. They're just surrounded by buildings. With light and medium blues and greens. Dramatic close-up portrait with an aspect ratio of 16:9. It gave me these 4 images. I told it then, okay, those were good enough. In fact, I think it messed up some things up here. Let's see my mess ups above. Right here. The first one I tried, a man holding a light bulb standing on top of the world with lasers and computer lights with light and medium blues and greens, dramatic close-up portrait. And it gave me, there, I can kind of make it a little bigger. It gave me these 4 guys. Now, I know with the software that makes somebody talk, probably these 2 definitely won't work. I mean, a light bulb's covering his face. These 2, I don't think it's real. I mean, they just weren't what I was looking for. So that was like a fail. So then I redesigned some of the words I was giving it. By the way, you can see what some other people are doing all throughout Midjourney. Oh, here's my very first one. This is the first ones it gave me. That one might work for be able to talk. That one might. That one would definitely not. You can't see the mouth. I don't know about that one. I love these images and the colors. They feel a little dark though. That's why with deep and medium blues, The next one, I change it to light and medium blues. And then I got these. You see, they're not quite as dark. That one's a little dark. What I mean is like brooding kind of a look. So I then said, looking at the camera, standing on top of a building, I said light and medium blues and greens with dramatic close up. And so I ended up, the one I liked out of these was the bottom right one, or I liked it enough. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough for the demo. So I clicked on V4, which is version 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Version 4 was this one. Then it goes to work and it's going to give me 4 versions of this guy. So if we look at, there's a little blue here and a little there below his cheeks. And so the new versions, I think it redid him in 4 different new versions. So notice how they're all a little different from each other, right? I don't even remember which one I just kind of went with intuition. So I liked number 4 down here in the bottom right. And now I told it U, which is upscale number 4, which means now it's going to make it a much bigger and better quality image. So we scroll down because it takes a little bit of time here, and it spit out this. This was number 4 upscaled. So you see now it's like as big as all of the others, but it's a single image. This image is what I used to create that talking video. I wanted this. Obviously, that doesn't really look like a realistic guy, right? Like he has stuff on his face. The background looks a little fake. His eyes are like a rare green that I don't think I've ever seen on a real human. And I could have done all kinds of other things and played with eye color. This was all done in literally a few minutes, everyone. Like, I want you to understand how quickly I did all this. I didn't like, this was zero overthinking. This is not at all the perfect avatar, but it was cool enough. And I just went with it. Here's some that somebody else did. Super cool. Freaking awesome. It would have been cool for me to use her and then have her with my voice, or with Tony Robbins' voice, or with the founder of a company that I'm with, or not, because it can start to get a little creepy and crazy too. So you can get ideas as well. Here's another great hack. Let's say you really like the style of these right here. I totally love these. So you can grab their prompt and then you could feed that in yourself. So you can just scroll through here. This is how I first started. You guys want to see the first things I ever created ever? My God, there's a lot of jam skis. Four, 6, 237. Right here is the first one I ever did. There it is. Simple, modern, and elegant line banner for the phrase team inspired, blah, 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 blah. Actually, that's not the first thing I ever did. Older than that, please. Oh, I must have been in a different channel. So forget it. I can't show you what I wanted to, but when I first came in, I saw somebody that it can do initials pretty good, but it can't do words very good at all. In fact, I'll show you what it spit out when I tried to have it do a team inspire banner. It was busy. So here's what it spit out. It can't really do words in front of pictures yet, but these blues and greens, my God, I love these so much. In fact, I would play with all of these. I love the exact colors. Everything is perfect on it, but I couldn't get the words. So then I kept going, and I realized, I then did some research. You can't really do words, but you can do initials, because I did some initials before. Here's some other ones I did. And some of you may or may not realize. Uh-oh, I think I just jumped past one of mine. Just a minute. So we're starting to hone in a little bit more. There's some more. And if I can get to it. Anybody see anything familiar in the pictures here at all? Type a 3 into the chat if anything looks familiar. And so what happened is a brand new team logo. I just grabbed this. Now that doesn't mean it's going to stay as that, but this took me like 4 or 5 different things. And I just went with that. And I told it, that's the one I wanted. I actually told it V1 and V2. Give me some more versions of those. So here's the ones I didn't use at all. Here's the other ones I did end up using, and I don't even know which one I went with. I forgot. I think I liked all the extra dots up there. Yep, upscale number 1. So that was on my final team background, and then I just threw Team Inspire powered by AI right in front of it. So that's super cool. Anyway, that's Midjourney. Here is the final image right there. You can see it. The exact commands are right here. Anyway, it doesn't even matter that I share that in the chat with all of you, because you can come in here and all you have to do is just look for people doing different things. And once you find things you like, then you can like just copy their words and go do your own versions of it. Like, let's say I like this style. That's not, anyway. Okay. I like this. I like that kind of style, but I don't want it watercolor. Not a watercolor, a photo of a star with eyes and a mouth traveling across the galaxy and night sky with a comet whizzing past in bright blue and green. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Hang on. I hope it just, okay, good. You have to tell it imagine in front. So / imagine. And now you type in all the stuff. Imagine a photo of a star with eyes and a mouth, blah, 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 blah. I have no idea what this will spit out, but you see how I just grabbed somebody's stuff, and now I want to make it a little bit Jason style. Now watch, somebody else is doing stuff. So you just wait here. And once it gets to mine, it's usually within 5, 10, maybe 20, 30 seconds. Somebody's cranking out a whole bunch right here. Super cool. We're going right back to the webinar after this. Come on. Oh, man, I love this. Freaking love this, guys. These are freaking amazing. Like, I'm inspired to tears with these images. And I haven't even, like, I can hack these and fine tune them and like literally create the most inspiring things. I mean, dude, I have a floor in my office that is of the universe. I'm sitting on top of the universe right now. This is freaking amazing. I'm sitting here inspired on my own webinar, crying inspired tears with how amazing this stuff is. So beautiful, incredible. Now, I want to give all of you a warning on Discord. This is how I lost almost all of my crypto, to the tune of 19.6 Ethereum back in the spring of 2001. Please, when you're in Discord, anywhere in any server ever, here's the Midjourney server. Right click it, go down to privacy settings, open up privacy settings, allow direct messages from other members on the server. No. Activity status, I don't really care. Activity joining, I don't care. But because I didn't have direct messages locked down, now see, I know what to look for, so I was safe leaving it off for this one. But I would just turn everything off and say done. And now you're not going to get a message, because it's very easy in Discord for someone to look like they are Jamsky, which is the little I don't even know how to get to my profile anymore, even though I lived in Discord for like 2 years. Someone's going crazy with this style. I can't even find my original prompt, so forget it. Look at those bees. So cool. There's so many things. Guys and gals, you can create anything you want. Realistic 8K, detailed Batman's Bat Cave interior, hyper realistic wide angle shot. Look at that. I should have did hyper realistic universe shot, which I will be coming back to do. But what could happen is you see how I have a direct message from the Midjourney bot right here. You see this thing that looks like Midjourney? It may or may not really be the real Midjourney bot. And there may not even be a real bot because I had my requests open. So please be careful about the people sending you messages because they can easily trick you into thinking, oh, all you have to do is enter your name and login thing right here with our bot, and that'll fully unlock you to get everything you want inside the server. And you do that, they grab your credentials, they go in there, they change the password. It's all automated through all kinds of technology. They instantly change your password. You're locked out forever from your own account, and they're off using all your credits and using, as if they are you. So please lock everything down in all of your servers. One of the only servers I haven't locked down is my own server, and one other one that I trust. And all other servers, like check out the Axie Infinity server. Here's how I got scammed, because I was allowing direct messages back when I joined last year. And because this was not turned off on the Axie Infinity server, I got someone that fooled me into thinking I was talking to the COO of Axie Infinity, Alexander Psychout. And I sent him 2 different transactions totaling 19.6 Ethereum. You don't want to go look it up. It was painful. This is Midjourney, but you want to lock down. And by the way, the safe way to get to it, just go to midjourney.com. And by the way, you might have to pay for some of, I think I have the lowest subscription at Midjourney. It's 10 or 20 bucks a month, because I wasn't able to get in every time, like to create images like I just showed for you tonight. There's times where it doesn't allow free members to create because they're too busy, and I didn't have time to keep waiting. So there are other image things, but none of them are as good as Midjourney. So anyway, just want to give you that little demo as well, and show you some of those things. So, and give you the warning about Discord. That's awesome. I'm glad I did that. So we're now going to come back to the focus of tonight, and I'm wrapping this up with speed and urgency. So if you just learned something about Midjourney, type a 5 into the chat, please. I want to make sure that I gave some really good value. I wasn't even going to teach either ChatGPT nor Midjourney. I'm going to look back at the recording. Those probably added 30 to 40 minutes to the length of the presentation. But obviously, and if you can't see these, more than half the people just put a 5. So thank you all for allowing me to add value. This is what I love doing. And I've taught you like almost nothing of what I know. It's like a tiny percentage. So this is what I love doing, is teaching technology. So the focus today, I'm going to revisit back to one of the slides we were on, is the low ticket vehicle. Now I want to share there's also, I'm literally going to talk, I'm just going to read this. I do have a mid-tier 100% passive income program. It's not listed anywhere in the value ladder. It's really more in my trial phases, but it has to do with automatic trading with prop firm accounts that are fully managed for you by professional traders. And you're basically acting as the entity where the prop firm will give you accounts of anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000. And then they're literally like in your control. but you give all the control to the professional traders. They go then trade for you, and they make between like 3 and 5% per month. That passive opportunity starts at about $2,100, goes up to well above $3,000, and it would fall somewhere in the middle of the value ladder. And this is just a real quick what some of the, so here's between 2,100 and 9,000 when they average 3% per month return. This is your cut. So when they make 3% in a month of $100,000. Now, obviously, this is not 30% per month, like 1% per day. Any of you ever seen any 1% per day programs that like stole all of our money? And because they're completely unrealistic returns. So, and by the way, in the crypto world, you actually can blow away 1% per day, but it's a very specialized skill set. And anyway, without me going off teaching about crypto stuff, this is around Forex trading, nothing to do with crypto. And so they target anywhere from 2 to 4% per month. 3% is right in the middle. If you average 3% in a given month, and if they didn't blow out the account, which they haven't blown out anybody's accounts yet, they have a whole Facebook group, a whole webinar explains all this. It's not like, it's just a thing I saw. I found it. I know some friends that are doing it, that are having good success. In fact, I'm going to scroll real fast. Some of them were on here, and might still be on here. But I just wanted to share really quickly that I wanted to put this on your radar. Now, let me give you a big fat warning. If the $2,000 to $9,000, if you wouldn't be willing to go to Vegas, throw that down on a roulette table on either red or black and have your 49.7 or whatever % chance to win, then I wouldn't touch this program. But if those numbers are smaller with where you're at in life, then this is something I would highly recommend you to go check out. Just private message me outside of this webinar, and I'll send you to another. The webinar I have is like an hour long, but there's probably newer ones that plus or minus an hour, and they will walk you through everything. They'll show it all, exactly how it all works. And, you know, I have everything all lined up in a document. So I'm not highly focused on this whatsoever, but I did want to mention this because it's fully passive, totally hands off. And so if they make 3% on 100,000, why do you only get 1,500? Because the other half goes to the program and also to the prop firm. Like, they want some of this money. And so you're acting as the legal entity that they're transacting business through, so they can, you know, there's tens, hundreds of millions of dollars. There's probably billions doing all this. Prop firms have been around forever. So anyway, that's a little side play, nothing we're focusing on tonight. So, but I know it's a really good fit for, you know, because the numbers are smaller, right? Or sorry, higher, like 2,000 and above. So now, remember the power curve? We're talking more towards the other end of it. This is not low ticket, everybody kind of do, let's crush this with AI type of a play. Let me also say, I guarantee you that AI is going to be all, in fact, we've already had automation within the trading markets for many, many years. And with where AI is going, I fully suspect any kind of possible advantage that anybody ever had is going to be closed up real quickly. And even a lot of you're not going to be able to do any short time or high frequency trading on your own, because AI will be way more efficient than any human could ever be at that. So the traders of the world, my hallucination and my guess and my prediction is that the only kind of human traders that will survive will be the one that understands some of the longer term trends or medium term, but not short. I think that is all going to be gone. It's all those margins will be eaten up, and there'll be AI programs where people are willing to make 0.01% per day, where you as a trader need your 1 or 2% and like you're going to die off or whatever. So anyway, so I'm launching this low ticket thing, large far and wide and shouting it from all the rooftops of the interwebs. And so it's a perfect fit for AI. You don't have to do Zooms. There's no sales. And it's marketing, not sales. Does that make sense? Which means now we can automate things, which also means we can utilize AI to a lot larger degree, where the higher ticket it gets, the more human interaction you currently need. And the lower and lower ticket, the less, like when you're talking about a little $150 decision, people don't need an hour-long one-on-one consultation call to make sure, I mean, they might if that's their monthly or weekly income or something, but that's not most of all of humanity. That's why this low ticket thing has leaders all around the planet. So, and with the value ladder I showed you, this is the entry into my entire world. Does that make sense? So the more people I introduce to this low ticket offer and my value ladder I'm putting together, the more that they'll start to be introduced to the other tools and things along that journey. And those, by the way, this goes back to, this is why all the tools and services, I mean, this is my entire career, that if I've ever gotten anything where there wasn't value, or if I didn't see it up front, I don't promote those things at all anymore. It's why I won't promote the thing I'm about to show you, but just some proof to not ignore low ticket programs. They're highly lucrative and they can create life-changing residual income for sure. So let me talk about a few drawbacks first. This is the slide you'll never see in most marketers' presentations out there. And this will, I always feel better sharing some of this stuff out there. And so I love what Rob just shared here, by the way. It's marketing, not sales. Therefore, we can use AI to automate it. Noted. Guys, pay attention. There are people that are extremely successful that are seeing this big light. So Rob says, the light bulb just flipped on in a big way. OMG. I'm super grateful. I'm really grateful that just happened, Rob. Good. That's my biggest intention, is to give as many aha moments and perspectives and insights to as many people as humanly freaking possible. So some of the downsides, if you're ever doing more than one program, sometimes you'll have upline leaders or people like, oh, well, they're not committed or whatever. That's fine. Some leaders are going to think that no matter what you do. So the way I present this stuff are through webinars like this. I'm not worried about that. You'll also see a lot of presentations of individual parts of my funnel. But then once somebody's on the inside, then they need a presentation like this that ties it all together for them, whether they came in at high ticket, somewhere in the middle, or even low ticket. Does that make sense? So for example, there will be people that join in the middle of my value ladder. Like, let's say they join the 12-week reboot and rank up down the road, that don't know anything about my low and high ticket programs, that then get introduced to what you're going to see here. So a lot of people have been trained to put 100% loyalty into a single program, comp plan, person, leader. It's not wise. It hurts people. I don't expect you that I own you and I am your only leader and you do every single thing I say and you have no other mentors. And if I ever see you ever doing anything, then I'm going to, oh, no, don't do that. I did approach some of that my first few years in the industry, and it didn't feel good on any person. Like, we're entrepreneurs. We're not freaking slaves in someone's freaking team. And just because it's your team, I've been telling people this for a long time. Team Inspire is not Jason Cardamone's team. It's all members of Team Inspire. It's our team together. And everybody's free to come and go every which way. Luke, I am your father. I love that, Tony. It's funny. So I've been talking about this stuff forever. So these different tools and programs, I have ran huge systems that competed with like MLSP and some of these other, you're going to get introduced to some of these training programs. One that I really like here as well, that I'm going to be sharing with a whole bunch of my personally enrolled members really soon. And so we don't control those things, right? I'm not the owner. I didn't design the comp plan. Now I know what to look for in a solid comp plan, which is awesome. So I can help guide with around all of that. I also know what are the downsides of any comp plan, and every single one out there has them. There's no perfect plan ever. So when it bugs me when I hear leaders or people say, this is the best, this is the only. I even said it about, Thomas Leonard. He is the founder of the coaching industry, period. Way before Tony Robbins ever used the word coaching. So like, was he the best ever? Well, he hired one of the best. I always try to use one of. I don't like saying this is the best person in the world or whatever. Like, everybody has drawbacks. All of us do. So anyway, there can be confusion if someone's brand new and they're like, oh my God, well, how do I just even had someone ask this today. And I told them, ask me again after the webinar that if you're still confused, because I wanted them to see all this because they felt confused. They're in 2 different programs and they weren't really sure how to go about this stuff. And I'll make it even more clear by the end. Chris shares, that was told to me previously by some folks out there and never from me. Good. That's awesome. And Chris, I don't remember when we first connected, but I know it's at least been since 2017. If I knew you in 2006 or 7 or 8, I may have been like, no, don't look at anything out there. Blinders on. I've ran most of my life with blinders on, and it's really hurt me and my teams too. The value and stuff you've taught me over the years has been and continue to be appreciated more than I can type. Thank you, bro. I actually didn't read this. I should have. I mean, on a deep personal level to my being. Bro, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm just as appreciative being a part of your entire journey. And, one of what I'll share just real quickly for everybody, something on my heart real quick. There's been so many people that I've recrossed paths with in the past few weeks just because I decided to embrace a low ticket program. Now, some of them weren't seeing my stuff on Facebook, even though we're connected over there, because Facebook only shows your stuff to a tiny little percentage of all your connections. A lot of them were reintroduced through my email list, probably at least one person through a YouTube video that I initially had unlisted and I made public, which was a mini version of what you're seeing tonight. This thing, when it pops live, will be notified to all of my subscribers. I only have 2,000, but that's actually a ton for our industry. It's more than the vast majority of people. But it's nothing compared to like, why am I slipping? Name some Minecraft influencers and Mr. Beast and stuff. He probably has like millions of subscribers or whatever. So, by the way, if they can get millions, then why can't we? If you want to create a full-time income with a low ticket program, why can't you enroll 10 paid members every single day for the next year? What's stopping you? Wow, huge congratulations, Michael. By the way, when you grow programs that make sense and have powerful comp plans and really great tools, even when you don't add sexy things like AI on top of it, just to blow it out all in every which direction you could possibly imagine, then your teams grow, even if you're giving webinars or sleeping. It's pretty cool. So simple funnels, clear, simple infographics, all that kind of stuff aid. And if you're ever confused, my recommendation is always to focus on the one part get good at it, master those areas, and grow from there. One of the reasons I love this low ticket thing. So I'm going to share with you some stuff from the company from 2008. So this was a $10 a month company. There's a couple people that pay $40 a month for what's called premium. You can even see on the right side, there's only a couple. And it's very rare. Most people all were just basic, less than 1%. So this is a team where people are paying $10 a month. You only make $1 per person per month. So you only get 10% in this program of what they pay per month. You do get it down 5 levels deep, which is cool. But there's nothing else unless you're enrolling at least 5 people a week that all pay. And it's between the whatever they define as a week. I don't remember what their deadlines were. Then you can make an extra $100 per 5 people, or an extra $20 per person. But if you only put 4 in instead of 5, you got 0. If you put 14 instead of 15, you don't get an extra 300. You only get 200. Does that make sense? So you have to put 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14 people to make 200. But then once you make 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 people in a single week, all paid, then you get 300. So it's not a good compensation plan, is my point, because almost nobody puts in 5 paid members a week. So this team, I started it in December 2008. By the way, under my spouse's name, who had not even my same last name, not a person on the planet knew who she was. So we built it as if, listen, this is an aha moment. We built the whole thing under her name because I was a leader in another company. And I didn't want people to know I was doing this experiment, because I was going to grab the whole funnel, use it in our company, but just change the name and everything. What happened was, under my spouse's name, which not a person in the world knew her name, nobody knew, I was starting to get leverage in a few traffic exchanges and a few list builders, and my videos were starting to get out there a little bit. So some people knew who I was. Nobody knew, like, basically color Joe Blow. Nobody knew who Joe Blow was. But yet, strangers from all around the internet were attracted in, joined a stranger, because the offer and the way we framed it and everything else was so damn sexy. Not only did people start joining her, they started duplicating like teenage rabbits on a hormone diet. So now, and fast forward 2 months, I have this little secret project going on underneath my spouse's name, and it's blowing up. And I have strangers from around the world. I've been over in this other company for 1.5 to 2 years. I'm one of their top leaders. Out of 100,000 members, I'm in the top 13 in the entire company. We had a team of 4,400 people. The company overall had 100,000. The company's name was Success University. And I loved what we were doing. And I loved the comp plan. And I loved it was about personal development. And I loved everything about it. But yet, I even had people over here. My leaders, my top leaders, were making 1,000 to 2,000 a month or so. I think that was about the top end of it. I was just going to ask one of them, but they popped off, or maybe they weren't on. Maybe they're just going for the replay. But I know I had at least a few people making 1,500 to 2,000, maybe a little more per month, including the great grandmother, 83-year-old Ruth I told you about, that didn't know a damn thing about tech, including couldn't even email me when we started. She was making $400 a month over in that thing, using the power of technology. Now, listen, I had strangers in less than 2 months. Some of these strangers started to make what my leaders took 1.5 and 2 years to make over here, where all my heart and focus, all my authority, all my leverage, and all my training had been poured into. And I have complete strangers over here on a little $10 a month thing. Some of them are rivaling $1,000 a month within 2 months with there's no leadership and nobody knows a damn thing. So I had to step back, and I had to really start asking some hard questions of well, what the hell? What could my leaders over there be doing in a smaller ticket program? And what it really turned into, we had a better funnel and a better offer over there, even though that was a better company, until it wasn't. So Success University is going to go under a few months later. It's all divine synchronicity. We're cranking $8,000+ a month over here. So I do the video to my team where the first video I ever cried, and I explained to them the company's being shut down. They had a bunch of fraud in Nigeria. It wasn't the company owner's fault. I'm still friends with him to this day. Great dude. And one of the all-time greats in the network marketing industry, retired now, only does coaching. And he told me I couldn't tell anybody, but he knew that he was going to have to bankrupt the company. And so I let a few days go by, and I realized I couldn't live with myself because I had people that were about to quit jobs and they're relying on this, and they're about to make huge decisions, but yet it's going to be changed over the next month or two. And so I did my first video where I cried, didn't know what I was going to say, didn't even know how to approach the team. I just knew I had to share it. I had to tell them what was happening, and that I started this crazy ass experiment, and I do have a home if you want something else that we can run with. And so what happened was what you see on the screen. Fast forward to today, I've made over $500,000. I still get paid every single month. It was $500,000 around 2019. I haven't tallied it since then, but we're not making as much, like little under 1,000 a month now, probably. And in 2019, I don't remember if we were still close to 2,000 or not, per month, dollars. So what's crazy though, this team, I just took this on March 17th, 2023, almost exactly a month ago from today. 623 members in the first 5 levels. That team goes over 30 levels deep, measured in 2010. We could only see 5 levels, so I went down to people on all the leaders on the 5th level, contacted like 10 of them. I said, give me your organization, all your leaders on your 5th level. We went down to them, which was my 10th level. Then we did the same with them, 15th level, 20, 25th. Team goes down 30 levels deep back in 2010. Obviously, it's been growing. I mean, it grows every day still, but also it shrinks because there's something called attrition and people bail. That's why we're only making it less than 1,000 now, and it used to be as high as 12,000. And so one of the crazy things, this is one of the last companies I ever thought would ever survive. They have no one helping anybody. They don't even have, they have like a skeleton crew in corporate. They call it an affiliate company. You can't get help with anything. They take forever to get back, and they basically aren't even interested in growing. It's just like trickling along, barely surviving somehow. So, and I can't stand behind their product at $10 a month either. So that's why I haven't promoted this since somewhere around 2011 range. But here's the point. You can make a lot of money over time. I have something with a far superior compensation plan in every which way. And I don't know what's going to survive over the next 10 or 20 years. None of us do. Not a single person. I don't care if you're talking about send out cards. I don't care if you're talking about Amway. I don't care if you're talking about the newest hit wonder or anything else, or the company on the screen here. In 10 years from now, I have no idea what's going to survive or not. And it's not just because accelerated technology. It's because things change. Or as in Ford and Ferrari, as dang it, who's Matt Damon's character? The super famous race car designing dude. His name's on the back of my Hot Wheels for as a kid. What's his name? Anybody? Shelby. Thank you. So as Shelby shares somewhere in there, talking with Ford and some other people, plans change. So everything changes. Your whole life, everything's going to change. I don't know what's going to survive, but you can make incredible money with low ticket. So here's the deal. I'm not overly focused on the products, but I'll share them briefly. They're health products. They're incredible. I was primarily interested in this from the solid comp plan, but I don't ever do, if the products weren't good, I couldn't have backed this thing because we can't just talk about a compensation plan ever. I'm just sharing what initially got me interested. Then I started discovering more about the products, hearing lots of testimonials from people who know what they're talking about, even people within my team. I am absolutely a health and nutrition freak and expert. I haven't even got to get my hands on the product, so I can't give my personal share on that stuff yet. So this helps get residual income to everybody I introduce and everybody they're introducing. My team already is down 8 generations deep in 3 weeks. Do you realize what that means? It means I brought somebody in person A. Person A brought B, B brought C, C brought D, D brought E, E brought F, F brought G, G brought H. We're H levels deep already in one part of the team in 3 freaking weeks. We certainly didn't do that back in this company I just showed you. Very low cost, super low risk. It gives my high ticket teams leverage beyond just a level or two like they're used to. Why this company? Major momentum, but we're early enough to still get a lot of network effect. So this isn't like Amway where you go, like you talk about it, and as soon as you say the word, nope, instant no from the whole planet. They even had to rebrand and then to Quickstar, then they rebranded Brack again. By the way, incredible company. Like if you want to learn personal development, go join Amway and stay there for the next 10 years and go to everything, and you won't even be the same person in a decade from now. You also can do the same thing through me and those of us that love personal development and educating you. So one risk, I prefer companies that are about 3 to 5 years old, but there's also incredible to get in with new things, especially when they have leadership that has done a lot of things over time. I also tend to like twists on more established companies, like marketing twists. So if you can kind of like put together in your brain, like, wow, so Jason loves human behavior and technology. He's learned a lot about AI. He just taught a lot of stuff to a lot of people, even though he's taught like less than 5% of what he currently knows, and he's consuming information at an absurd rate. And we take something else with leverage that just happens to have the perfect funnel and everything in place with where things are at. And there's almost not a person on the planet that can say, I can't afford this. My children can afford to get in this thing, and they're not even working jobs. And I literally don't know. This is where I knew I had, like, when I decided we're going to focus on the low ticket program, it's also when I decided we're going to really put some heavy focus on the webinar around AI, because my first mini webinar of this didn't go into AI like what you all understand. Why? Because I wasn't as deep or committed to it back then. I just knew I was going to use it someday, some way. I just didn't know that was like this day and this last few weeks. So I don't know of any better place on the planet for you to experiment with AI that actually has like an actual objective that can bring finances, which you need. And if you don't have, I'm telling you right now, if you're not worth 10 million, I don't think, maybe some people on here are, and that's awesome. That's just the start. If you're not sitting on million, if you think $1 million is a lot, you are in deep shit already. Because $1 million, I don't care what your household current expenses are, that's not going to get you very far. And for more than 140 years, the average needed income has been doubling every 14 and a half years. If you look at things over the last 15 years, everything's more than doubled on average. Everything. It's crazy. And my prediction is that with the rise in technology, I think inflation is going to rise more than that in the next 15, next 30 years, even though those have been the trends because of this enormous debt bubble problem. Again, I'm not going into all this economic education. I would love to. You guys know I'll spend days doing it, and I will. In fact, part of that 12-week reboot and rank up program, there's an entire financial section that includes not just everything DeMartini's ever taught on finances, but also all of the other greats, including, Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Grant Cardone's teaching, and I'm missing some big ones in there too. What's Dave Ramsey's, all that. Like, if you only approach any one of those other programs, you have holes in your game. I've never seen, the only person I've even seen approach a holistic picture is Dr. John DeMartini, and he's a freak with financial stuff. Tony Robbins does a pretty good job as well, teaching holistic, bigger picture. And there's a couple others, but I can tell you, they are not Dave Ramsey and they are not Susie Orman. And that's what most of the world subscribes to. That's why my parents are going to be completely dependent on me and working until the day they die, because Social Security can't carry them, because they tried following Dave Ramsey plan starting when I started this industry in 2006. And it doesn't work, especially on an unstable economy. And by the way, there is still value, like with whatever university, I forgot what Dave calls his thing. There's cool value on that, but it is not the whole picture. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not telling you to not go take all that. I have, but that's only one slice of it. So I'll likely put in at least 100 people within 30 days. A percentage of them will fall under those who join the earliest. This, forget that. I should have taken that. I actually didn't proofread this slide. That applied more a few weeks ago, but I am going to be cranking in a ton of people. But it is true. The earlier, the faster you join, the more you get locked in, the more. Yeah. Thank you, Tara. FPU, Financial Peace University. I think that's Dave's thing. So because the way they set this up, there's some urgency and there's a power line situation, and you do get placed in the matrix before others who came in before you. So that's a big advantage to get locked in fast. And so, so you're going to see a ton of SEO. We have SEO, other experts right on this very webinar. In fact, people that I go to and ask current SEO questions, there's at least one of them right here on this webinar. It's super cool. Downsell. So this is like, here's why I'm sharing that, because you can have friends that are your mentors, but that you also mentor them. And it's just called like coaching each other and helping each other. That like, I don't put anybody up on a pedestal, and I don't put anybody down in a pit. We're all equals, and I'm interested in learning from every single one of you. I love learning. Like, teach me, please. So it also helps when it's aligned with my top values: human behavior, technology, marketing, serving people, all that stuff. So lots of SEO, down sales from other offers I have out there. Whole team AI domination. I mean, this is all my primary AI content is being poured into our team. And I haven't even started yet. In fact, you learn more tonight than I've even got to teach the team. But once this is out of the way, now I can really, really get to work. So, and it's such a low risk, and it's such a solid chance for people to create residual income. So we are hacking the compensation plan because we're able to, because you're not always able to do this. Now, one of the primary ways we're doing this, we're actually hacking our own psychology and the comp plan. So they actually offer an annual option instead of just monthly, like so many of us are used to like auto ships and monthly commitment kind of things. And so this company came up with this genius thing where you can actually pay for an entire year up front, but you also get like a 20% discount on it then. And so because it's so low cost, it's less than $150 for the whole year. You can lock in, and it's going to it's going to overextend even your own commitment. And here, I'm going to pull something up on the side here. So it also locks in your commitment for a year. It also locks in your commissions for a year. And messages, broadcasts. Give me just 1 second, everyone. No, automation. Hang on, I'm trying to look up something while I'm still taking you through the slides here. So those joining below you from our team will all be doing the same. So the vast majority of every person who's joined the team, last I checked, it was like 130 or 40. That's so funny. I can't. Oh, I would actually have to run a weird. Zoom is covering my screen with the 3 windows. So I can't really see what I want to right now. It's crazy. People are like literally, let me just share the power of what you can do with marketing. Today's the 13th. I just had somebody join me. And because the screen's covered, I can't even see who it is. Somebody just personally enrolled with me while I'm sharing the webinar with you. Why? Because there's systems in place and we don't even have AI in place. Besides, they helped me write, design some email series. So what I wanted to share with you, some of the reasons of, so almost all of our whole team has gone with the annual instead of the monthly. It proves your conscious and unconscious mind. Here, this is an email I sent out to all when somebody joins me, I'll even give you guys this right now. I should totally not share that. I'm not going to share it all publicly, but I'll share this part. So, because this is some of the secret sauce. So, it proves your conscious and unconscious mind that you're serious about building your business. It locks in your commitment for an entire year and all of your team. What's the biggest problem? People bail after 2 or 3 months. Look at Mark. Like, Mark, thank you for sharing, brother. We have Mark right here. He just shared after he got this email right on the screen. He just upgraded after that email. And Mark just joined like today, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right. I know it's within a day. So like this email works. That's super odd. Mark, thank you, bro. I'm not, guys, Mark, were you planted? Like Mark and I haven't even got to talk. So like he just joined. I did the automation thing, which was copying a name and email to a thing, and boom, everything just happened on its own. And then Mark took action on it, which is awesome. It shows he's teachable too. It shows the email works. And it locks in your commissions for an entire year and the commissions of your team. Let's go back to the great Zig Ziglar, which this is really where my career took off when I adopted Zig's spirit behind what I'm going to share with you, because this was true to what was always in my heart my whole life. You can have everything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. So why is this not all about, well, I'm locking in my commissions for the entire year? We don't want to ignore that. You don't want to be so altruistic where like you're ignoring yourself, but realize when I help Mark lock in his commissions for the entire year, now I'm locking in everything else above him and around him. And I'm helping all those other people indirectly. So because Mark chose to follow this, he literally just locked in. I mean, I don't know how many people are between him and I at this point, even though he joined me directly, but there's probably about 5 other people in between Mark and I, maybe 6, maybe 4. We'll know after midnight tonight. There's a huge deadline. And so anyway, I wanted to pull some of that up and share it. And Rob shares, the richest are those that teach others to get rich. That's been my experience. It's totally been my experience as well. It's a lot easier. Now, in some ways, you can be more productive if you're a freak like me and you can put in long hours and like you just can't be stopped, right? Well, you can still do that and still serve the many. Or let me give you another strategy. This is the power of joining a really powerful team. So between me and my sponsor and my upline, and you leverage everything we have, you can literally just be a producer, go learn some AI, get your freaking links all over the damn planet, have people joining whose names you can't even pronounce. They have to use Google Translate to even read everything you're sharing. which again, this is all automated through the systems. Let me make this really clear. That whole email you just saw, when Mark Michael joined me earlier today, all I did was copy and paste from the back office, Mark Michael and his email address. I put that into a service and I pushed enter. That's it. I didn't write him an email, but in his world, it looks like I wrote him an email. It calls him by name and it gives very distinct instructions on how to join the team site, what to do, how to make sure you've locked in how we're hacking the comp plan. And he then did the most important part, was to then follow the directions and take action on it. And he did it. And he's sitting here right now. And now he just secured that line even stronger. Guess what I'm doing down below Mark and helping him do with all of them? The exact same freaking thing. Guess what we're also leveraging is like some of the magic from people above me as well. So you actually can go and just be a super producer, and you don't need, like, my top value is teaching. That always comes before marketing because I love teaching people. So you can leverage my top value of teaching, inspiring, and serving people. And let's say your top value is getting bloody rich, bloody fast. So you have options for your bloody, non-bloody, so that your family doesn't become bloody. So we had to step into like UK for a minute and then step back out into like war. And I know I'm kind of trying to be funny, but I also really mean that. And I'm very concerned for everybody on the planet. But also, humans have always survived over time. And there is this perfect hidden order and balance to everything. And you'll see it in politics. It'll swing back and forth in the US. You'll see it in peace and war, even within your own household. You'll see it in any kind of dynamic, whether you're looking from a global or even an astronomical perspective down to the quantum perspective. You will see these relationships. There's always a balance. You take a magnet, you have a positive and a negative side, you cut it in half to get two positives, and you don't have that. You have a positive and negative. Everything is always perfectly balanced in the entire universe and always has been. And so we will always prevail through things, even though humans have really only been, evolving for what, hundreds of thousands. I forgot the time frames, but there were people sailing around. We have documentation. There were humanoids, or the thing right before Homo sapiens, I forgot the word for all of this, that were sailing around on ships 40,000 years ago. So we've made it more than 40,000 years, and we will continue on, even if it's within the stars, which is where we're heading. So it locks in 12 months access to wholesale pricing on all current and all future products. And like Tony shares here, product costs are phenomenal compared to nationwide advertised similar products. Exactly right. It reduces the attrition for a person's first 12 months and their entire team. It eliminates the attrition, doesn't just reduce it. And we also fuel the company's momentum even more. So we do our job as a team to help the entire company. And so what happens is, even if the company fell out of momentum overall, our team stays in momentum for a whole year because everybody's locked in for a year. So realize, let's say in 6 months, the company cools down from its current cranking rates. Well, our team's already locked in and our momentum sticks for a whole year. So we go beyond the whole company. This is why I'm hammering on this. I'm a freaking comp plan consultant and I have a math degree. And I'm an expert in human behavior. So like the wisdom built into this goes so deep, and so many thousands of hours of my life. Like, this is such great wisdom on this slide. I hope, I know there's people not even on our team that see this. I hope you take this and just go employ all of it. So it outlasts a person's perception of, oh, this doesn't work. That's why most people quit in 60 to 90 days. The average auto ship is like 2 point something months long before a person quits. Gives people a chance to learn, grow, and inspire. Does that ring a bell? So if you're brand new and you're not in yet, or if you're seeing this, so first of all, you have to lock in a spot and pre-enroll with us. I'm going to give you my link right here on this webinar. But again, like I said, there's a couple of you were actually referred from like someone else. That's how we got connected. Will you please go ask them so that you're joining them? I would verify, I would make sure they're on our team. If they're not on Team Inspire and you're just joining them somewhere else randomly, you're not going to get like most of, I mean, you don't get the culture. You're not getting the focus on annual hacking the comp plan. You're not getting the AI training, which is definitely going to be, I mean, I can't wait to see how blessed our team is with AI, but also not just blessed with them working their asses off, applying this stuff in seconds a day. I mean, it's crazy. Those videos were way less than 20 minutes, and I had never, ever done them like that at all. I created brand new images. I fumbled around with those. And then I didn't even know I could get my voice in them, or I would have done some really cool things because I couldn't figure it out for a while. I just didn't want to put a bunch of more time in. So just wait till you see the videos I put out in the coming weeks. I'm so freaking excited for that. So there's a $40 one-time affiliate fee. Then your membership, which is normally $10 a month, you get it for $100, which means you get to save $20 because you're locking in for a whole year. Now, I know there's some people in a situation, you don't have $140 and you're just going to come in for $50. That's fine. I'm never talking about that. And it's not a part of our team culture. And I do it, what I'll say, if you are, let me say this. Here's what I'll say. I have a person, and I don't think they're on here right now because they're working, but they had less than $200 in their bank account. And they were going to come in for the monthly thing, which is it's $40 one time plus $10 a month. So it's 50 instead of 140. But then you have to keep paying $10 every single month. Now, the downside to that, if your credit card expires, if you forget about it, if you lose some heart because you haven't made $1 million in your first 60 days, you only made like 100,000. I'm exaggerating. I'd be blown away if anyone on here makes 100,000 their first 60 days, but it's completely possible. Somebody else has already done it. So I don't know what's possible or not, but we're going to find out. And I think we're going to see some things that nobody's ever seen with what we're about to unleash on the world. And so, but he had less than 200. And I told him about this and I shared it all. I said, I totally understand, my friend. You make the best decision for you. But I just wanted you to know, like, here's what we're doing as a team and here's why. And he said, dude, I'm going to do it. I believe in this. And this guy's never had any success in any network marketing thing ever. I didn't even know him. We're brand new knowing each other. So like, and so Chris asked, can you upgrade to the year option? Yes. And that's in that email that I just showed you guys. It actually shows you exactly how to upgrade. You can move from so that's what Mark did as well. So Mark was just sharing right there, that he came in monthly and then he switched to annually. And my hallucination is that, so his monthly would have paid for him basically until the 13th of next month or so. So he now has 13 months of commitment, because when he paid for the annual, then it bumped him out another 13. Mark, tell me if I'm lying or dying with that there. Is this a must do today? I get paid next week. No, it is not. And actually, LJ, do me a huge favor. Message me in Messenger with Derek in a 3-way message. I've already planted seeds, but I want to make sure we're connected in the right way. It's not a must do today, but the advantage, if you had the 140, the advantage is that you get in now, and then all the people who pre-enroll and come in over the next 7 days, see, every Thursday at midnight Pacific time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern, they lock in all the positions in the power line and they fill the whole matrix with all the people who paid. So all the free members who didn't pay, who just pre-enrolled, they're still locked in their power line position, but all the ones who paid go from wherever they're at and they jump to the very top all in order. So then the top of the power line is filled with all the recent people that paid, and above them is all the people that paid in the past, and all the people who haven't paid yet are all down below it. I have a whole video showcasing this that we'll be using in our marketing efforts to help understand this, but I'm just using my hands and stuff because I didn't want to go this deep because we're a bit long. So my best recommendation is to get in as fast as you can and then put in 2 personals as fast as you can to try to take up your front 2 spots. The reason for that, they have matching bonuses in this compensation plan. So what's super cool, now this is so freaking powerful. You don't have to rank advance at all. Every single person that you personally enroll, you get a 50% match on all of their residual income in the matrix. So that's not going to be monstrous. And it takes more than a month before you start like seeing those checks come in. But a great example is like when every person on the team that I help get to, let's say $500 a month, and if I brought them in, I get a matching 250 on top of that. So if I help 10 people get to 500 a month, I get 250 on each. That's an extra $2,500 residual income, literally because I help them each get to 500. Now, some of the other people that go into thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands a month, and you're getting matching on things, the numbers start to get pretty, you're definitely incentivized to serve your team and help them grow, like chucking a gremlin in the middle of an Olympic-sized swimming pool and just having them multiply like crazy. Again, like teenage rabbits on a hormone diet. So this program's incredible in another way, because now I don't talk about this a lot because it brings in lazy people, but you actually will make money if you get any spillover in the matrix, which most people are going. I mean, I can't see anybody joining at this point and not seeing some level of spillover. You get paid on all of them, even if you didn't bring them in, because it's a forced matrix. It's a 2x15 forced matrix. Again, I'll have entire videos on every aspect of all of this. So you can literally see what happens in different scenarios. You're going to see where the breakage happens. You're going to see like, what is the best things you can do. And I'll just give you the 30,000 foot view, but I'll prove it to you in the videos to come. And these are all, a bunch of this is going to be public too, because it attracts in highly qualified people. So you want to put in as many personals as you can over the next year. You want them as close to you as you can get. You also want to make sure you're locked in for a year so nothing silly happens. Like one of my main business credit cards expires next month on 5/2023. And if whatever tools or income streams I don't go in and update that on, that get paid to that one or that get charged to that card, I will lose those entire income streams. I could get kicked out of companies that are maybe making me hundreds or thousands per month if I don't update that card next month. Does that make sense? When it's on a monthly thing. In this program, it is on that card and it doesn't matter because I don't have another charge for another year. So I just locked in for a whole year. I don't have to worry about the stupid expiration dates. So my link is right here for you to get pre-enrolled, and then I'll show you what it looks like. I'll even put this into the chat. Now guys, I'll make another version of this for all of you so you can have like publicly not have my link on things. Hang on, I got to back up the slide. That's what I thought. Here, we'll even click on it, make sure. Okay, good. So this is what the page looks like. The company is Live Good. You enter your name, first name, last name, email, reserve your position. And then once you do that, hell, I'll just walk you through the next part too. Let's go right here. Hang on a second. Secure my LG. Live good pest account. Where are you? Oh crap, I forgot I have to look it up manually. So I actually I don't have the next screen to show you, but I do have a screenshot of part of it, which I'm just going to jump in there. So once you're in there, wherever you find the upgrade button, here is the screen where you make the difference between option number 1, option number 2. It literally was exactly, now I'm here in the US, so you might have conversions or something, but mine was exactly $139.95 out of my bank account. So I wanted to under promise and over deliver because I kept telling you 150 and 140. So you're going to save a buck or a nickel or so. So choose option number 2, just like this. And that's it. Now, summary. Thank you. Dude, Rob, I was actually going to ask you if you have a demo I could. Thank you, man. I actually do have a demo and I forgot which email I used and I have to look it up manually each time. So hang on, everybody. Let's go back to my site. Wait, I'm on the wrong one. Secure my position. So this is a way to come back like a backdoor into the site. Okay, here's what it looks like inside. You have 3 hours and 50 minutes if you're here live on this webinar to lock in for this week. Now, this particular pre-enrollee, if we were to look at my power line with when they came in, there's already 224,000 pre-enrollees and 143,000 of them have already joined this person's power line and it's still growing. They got the people that left over them were 120,897. But if they lock in today, the next 22,210 that have already locked in this week so far, they will all jump above this person as well if they don't join right now. This is also the perfect screen because so they show you some different things. There's all kinds of reminders and stuff down here and everything. You're also getting emails the whole time like, hey, so-and-so, make sure you lock in your position. So what I'll show you real quick is some of the products. And I'll just give you an example on like the multivitamin product. So member pricing is freaking $10. This is for a 30-day supply. So 2 capsules for 30 days. There's 60 in here. I'm sure it says 60. Yep, right there. And so it's $10. Or if you're not a member, because members are the ones, those of us paying $10 a month, or we locked it in for a whole year, right? So if I'm not a member, I'd pay $18. But also, if we compare to competitors that are out there, $29, $47. I showed my own to my team the other day, my own multivitamins that are like really good, but they are on par with the quality over here. They're $40. Mine are. It even tells you some of the stuff. You can look up all the stuff, like everything about it. Now, if you're asking yourself, how the heck can they charge this little for if these things are supposed to be quality? Because you can easily think, like I know a ton about CBD, 750 milligrams in this, like with 30 milliliters. This is far more than $18, even in some of the premier companies in the world. The reason is because the way they work their compensation plan, $26 for 1,500. That's like, it's crazy. That's like amazing. Because they've sourced relatively or really good clean ingredients so far. And Tony is here. He's sharing. He was paying $38. He's now paying $18. So anyway, that's for check out the different. There's a lot of different cool stuff here. I love these packs that particularly for me. All this, I don't really do coffee. So this one, the ultimate wellness pack, this is totally my jam. All of this stuff I already take in different ways. And this entire pack is only freaking $100 a month. I spend far more than $100 a month for what I get in these, my equivalents or semi-equivalent of some of these same products. Some of my stuff is like uber top quality. and it is not USA based only. They're starting to ship all around the world. Great question there, LJ. Thank you for asking that, by the way. Rob, do you know, I don't know if Rob is still on here or someone that's been around more. That's awesome. Rob says he saves $70 a month now and he likes these products even better. That's awesome. I know they recently started shipping internationally. I don't know which countries. I don't know the whole everything about it. But here is one thing I'll share with you. If it was about just the products or whatever, I would go learn about the compensation plan. And I would go look at some of this stuff, how this works, matching bonuses. And then, you know, I have a ton of video that will really, because a lot of this stuff is like gobbledygook or like a totally like crazy language for most people. I freaking love taking the stuff on these screens and then painting the pictures and showing you exactly how the math works in a way that like any person on planet Earth can understand. That's why like I should have been, or I could have been a math teacher, and I would like really be one of the greatest math teachers people ever had, because I love teaching this kind of stuff. So Rob says they ship to all countries. They recently significantly reduced shipping charges. CBD can't be shipped to Canada. There's actually this crazy Canadian rule around CBD where no US company there, you can't get CBD into Canada. It can only be sourced from inside its own borders. And they have these insane things in place. So if you're in Canada and you want good CBD, my heart is with you, because your government has like crazier laws than the US has even, and there's some of the most strict on all kinds of things. So I'm glad we got to, I don't want to hammer on all that, but I wanted to give kind of an example and shared some of the different products there. So what I encourage my team is like, go grab something, even if just one thing that makes sense for you. If for those of you that, if you want something that's probably going to make, you're going to see a noticeable difference in your health, what I would recommend is a good multivitamin. D3, super critical, especially if you don't ever go outside in the sun. Majorly lacking, and it also has K, which is awesome. Also, super greens. I don't know about the taste on these. Usually greens are a little harder. I did hear someone say they're the best tasting greens they've had. So that's really, really great. I can't wait to get my hands on these things. But what they do in your body, greens, the reds, highly, highly recommended. Good quality CBD oil, which I haven't done the research on the CBD. I'm actually going to drill their director of nutrition gal. Because I know a lot of background about CBD stuff. So I'm excited to ask about some of that stuff. But the things just for the average person, I know if you have the average diet, especially like in a first world country, the reds, the greens, the multivitamins, the D and K. Also, if you're a coffee drinker, definitely would recommend. This is like healthy coffee. It's freaking incredible. Coloradans know their CBD. I actually got thrown into the CBD industry back in like 2018, and I just learned so much, like, because I'm a freak. I love learning stuff. So yeah, exactly. Chris says CBD in Canada is a controlled subject. He doesn't see that changing soon. So, and by the way, guys and gals, I imagine there'll be a lot of new products over time. I'm sure there will be. This company is only a handful of months old, I think 4 to 6 months or so. So anyway, that's the back office. And then the summary, we're out of here right now. Well, go pre-enroll unless LJ message me in Messenger with Derek, please. So went over a U Inc. business. We covered AI. Now, I know I didn't map out everything about how we're going to dominate everything, what to do with the different things you can do. I gave you enough pieces that even if you don't know anything about AI, you can definitely go start using it to impact some tools in your life. Mike, great question. Let me answer that right at the very end here. Show ChatGPT, show Midjourney. I actually was going to show the video making tool as well, but I also realized we were running a little behind, so wanted to pour in a ton of value. The 12-week reboot and rank up and AI mastery course, I will bring those out to all of humanity on every team, every person on the entire planet. And what I'll also share with you, I know most of you are mostly excited about AI and even this incredible low ticket, which remember, this is just one part of the whole U-Ink business, but it's a really, really critical and important part. That the hardest thing that's going to be for me to sell to anybody is the 12-week reboot and rank up, but also it's where the biggest difference in your life will ever be made. And if you have any past trauma, if you have anything that's ever happened for you in your life, but you still feel like it happened to you, and you can't say, thank you, I love you, to yourself and any other people that were involved with whatever the trauma came from, then you need to join the 12-week reboot and rank up. And I mean that with all my heart. And it's more important than AI and income streams and finances and everything else, because when you balance all that out and you literally dissolve the trauma permanently to where you say, thank you, I love you, to where you can call what happened to humanity 3 years ago with the big C, the Saint blessing of 2020. I don't even want to say it because it gets picked up by the AI bots out there, and then it can throttle views and things. But the reason why I call it that is because I've seen the hidden order and the perfect balance in it, even from some of the loved ones I've lost to that. So I hope that hits home, because that is, it's the most important work I've ever put out to humanity. And I could literally teach the entire course like starting tonight, right now, because it's already done. But I will go through and update it over the past 3 years of wisdom. And what you'll discover is that it allows you to use things like tools like AI or tools like money and finances, and you can use those to really create much bigger impact for all of humanity, especially for yourself and your closest loved ones, and rippling out from there when you become clear, like completely clear on your top values. It's why I can teach all day and learn all day and do that for the rest of my life. But then I just had to find a way of like, well, how can I add value to humanity through those? Well, it's like webinars like this. Notice how this isn't just a big sales and marketing pitch fest. That's why it's slightly longer. I taught stuff along the way, right? So granted, I'm still working on making that even more concise as we're going. So I'm super excited to bring those out to humanity and to all of you. And I just want to end here. Will, thank you, bro. Will shares reboot and rank up changed my life. And I can tell you, it absolutely changed his life. And he's not the only one either. But I just want to express my deepest gratitude to every single one of you. And it's incredible to have such a high percentage of the participants on. And this went past what I wanted, but it's exactly perfect the way it was meant to be. And so huge love and gratitude to every single one of you, whatever time of day or night or afternoon it is, whether you're seeing this as a recording or you were here live. I hope that you continue to discover your own fingerprint specific top values, and then have the courage to start taking action and building your whole life around those, while along the journey dissolving any past trauma that you've ever perceived. And what you'll discover on the journey is that as you start to dissolve some, it's like peeling apart an onion, and there's deeper layers that like, wow, I just had really like someone I care about a lot, and they just did some of this work, and they were like, I lost a parent 20 some years ago, and I thought I was fully, like, I thought I had dissolved all the trauma. And they realized going deeper in some of this work, there was still some slivers, or even maybe much bigger than slivers left. and they dug deeper and they did some more work to where literally got to thank you, I love you. And they have like they're seeing more of the hidden order and the perfect balance of their parent, who the physical meat suit of the parent is no longer here for more than 20 years. So that whole thing of time heals everything, no. Not ignoring things and brushing them under rugs and actually doing the work to actually dissolve them and taking action, that's what heals things. Time doesn't heal anything. It just changes your memories. So true healing takes action on your part, just like building a business. Marinda, so grateful for you. LJ, Marissa, Chris, Michael, Albert, Howard, Joshua, Aaron, Carol. I am so freaking grateful for all of you being here live. Rob, Will, anybody I missed. So thank you. Thank every single one of you. So guys, reach out to me if I can help. Ask, I mean, you can even post, like if you're seeing this on YouTube or Facebook, you can post down in the comments. Feel free to message me. I'm a lot more responsive on Facebook than anywhere else. Please just find me on Facebook and I'm the one with the blue check mark. So I guess there could be other Jason Cardamones with a blue check mark, because there are other Jason Cardamones. There's just none of them that do all the stuff I do. So you'll be able to tell the difference. So love and gratitude. That's all I have, my friends. Grateful to be on the continued journey. And I love this. I love this. Alan Watts, time doesn't solve a damn thing. I didn't ever hear him say that, but I totally love that. Like I absolutely love Alan Watts. And I agree with Mike. There's not too many Cardamones. So love you guys. Take care, and definitely looking forward to getting this out far and wide, and even other versions of this and portions of this and all the stuff out to let's you have a unique set of values and skills and gifts. And I don't even like to call them gifts, because that implies that you didn't work hard for what you have. And so humanity needs you now more than ever. And so do you and your loved ones. And nobody can do this for you. I can't, nobody can. And sitting there praying and meditating all day is not going to do it for you either, without being backed by massive action. So there's definitely part of the formula for everything, but let's go impact the world even more and create these ripple impacts. I have friends that started with me way back in 2007 and 8 that went off and created these gigantic affiliate empires, and they're not even doing network marketing or anything anymore, but they are still super grateful for the lessons instilled in them way back then. And I'm grateful for the lessons they instilled in me way back then too. And we can go 5-10 years and reconnect, and we're still brothers and sisters. And it's so incredible to see the ripple impact that's been created in totally different industries all around the world. And some of you you're just going to use this stuff to give you a stronger financial base to then literally go. I mean, some of you are going to open up churches. Some of you are going to go like create all kinds of things all over the planet as you continue to tune into what your top values are. So love you all. Oh, Mike, I will. Thank you so much. I wasn't trying to keep that away. Let me give you guys the name of the video tool. It's d.id or whatever. D dash right here, d-id.com. How did I just use it? Or let me just take away the pricing. I just used it somehow, and somehow kind of logged in. I don't remember if I created a login or what. So it's studio-d.id. Here, I'll put it down in the chat. There you go. Here's the two dudes that you saw me create, and the base of this. So they have all these other, so I loaded him in, which I pulled out from, Midjourney. So they have all these other people on here. So I'll just show you this really quickly. Check this out. Let's grab this guy. I need some copy and paste. I'm just going to grab a bunch of text from the meeting here. There we go. We're going to give him a voice of Jenny as an assistant.
Anal Watts? Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. From Arrow.
Oops.
Alan Watts? Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. From Arrow
So that's
Chapel
Jenny as
to
an
all
assistant.
panelists.
Now watch Jenny
9:25
terrified.
Alan Watts? Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. From Arrow Chapel to all panelists, 9:25 p.m. You're the OG Jason.
That's terrified. And we can do sad, angry. Plus, they have all these other voices in there. Plus, you can load in your own voice. I like this Davis one.
Alan Watts. Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. From Arrow Chapel to all panelists, 9:25 p.m. You're the OG Jason.
Sorry, I just realized, guys, that I wasn't sharing the screen. So I gave you the little link in there. Here, I'll share the screen for a millisecond as we're winding this bad boy down. So basically, I copied and pasted stuff from the chat right over here. There, just cleaned it up a little bit, took out some of the stuff. Let's do Davis, and let's do Davis is shouting at us.
Alan Watts. Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. You're the OG Jason. There aren't many Cardamonis, though.
So, and now let's do whispering.
Alan Watts. Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. You're the OG Jason.
Now I gotta correct some of the things because that the dame thing is driving me dame crazy. So, and you don't see the guy animating his face yet, but I would go to generate video. I just don't want to use one of my credits because I only have 12 left. So I want to be selective with them, but he would be saying all those things in whatever voice we gave him, or you can just load in your own audio right here, which is what I did. And I don't even have, I'd have to grab the file, but I created the thing when you heard the talking head of mine. Let's see this one. I will be one of your co-hosts. My name is Jamski. I am Jason's avatar, just like in Ready Player One. So I just uploaded that audio and it's matching the voice, the eyes, the head movements and everything to the words in my that I fed it in. So anyway, exactly, we have some kind of creepy, kind of like amazing, and this isn't even like a good some of the other videos in there. If you grab some of the faces that are a lot cleaner, like you see how much brighter and how much light is on the face and you can see her teeth, she's going to look way better than that dude I loaded in. This guy, you can't even see his teeth. So I had to make up teeth for him. So any of these people, a lot of them are going to come out like way better. You see how these pictures are like much better, clean quality, bright lighting. You can see the whole face. They're going to look way better than that fake-ish dude that I gave you here. But it still did a pretty dang good job, which is absolutely crazy and incredible and awesome. So that is the video tool. You only get a small number of credits. By the way, it starts using your credits based on how many minutes of video. So when you're messing with it, when you're creating your videos, I'd recommend, so you don't have to buy a ton of credits, because you can do everything I did was for free that I'm sharing with you so far, that try to do it less than a minute. So if you feed in audio, like I fed in a 55-second audio clip. I actually was watching the timer on the side screen when I was reading it off, and I made sure I was going to end the clip before a minute mark. And then if you're writing a script, when you go to generate video, it will tell you how many seconds it's going to be. Or you can just play it. I'll give you one last little tip on this thing. Let's say this was our whole script. I can just play it.
Alan Watts. Love it.
Now I could time it saying all of that with a timer. And as long as it's less than a minute, then the video is going to take as long as he takes. That's exactly what it will sound like. So you can play around with all the different voices. Some of these sound a little more robotic than others. I don't know this multilingual one.
Alan Watts? Love it. Time doesn't solve a damn thing. You're the OG Jason. There aren't many Cardamonies though. Got to go to a meeting. Thanks, Jess. Talk soon. You rock. The clarity of this new Raider laptop rocks. Share the video tool in the FB group.
So anyway, you see how she talks faster than the other guy we were listening to? So all of that, and that's just, guys, we're not even getting creative. I'm just like, this is basics. So anyway, that's a cool little tool there. And that, I wanted to highlight that for the webinar because that's one of the more advanced things. If you're like, imagine we have the copy written by ChatGPT, similar to how I was showing you. Then we work on a really solid image. It could even be your own. By the way, you can load somebody's face in there, like Tony Robbins, but then have him talk with the voice of, Oprah. So it's Tony Robbins, if you get the right picture. So he's moving and he's moving his head and everything, but it's Oprah coming out of his mouth. So I was going to do some things like that, but I couldn't figure out how to feed in audio until the very last second. So that's why one had my voice and one didn't. I was going to do something way cooler, but I had to change the whole script until I could figure out how to add my audio. So anyway, let's do this and turn our cardamony into cardamoney. That's right. Yes, Mike, I'm in for that. For all of us, let's go make money for everyone. So love you guys. Huge appreciation and gratitude for being on this journey, and definitely looking forward to the continued journey. We didn't even get started, my friends. Let's do this.